Welcome guests, new and old, to Stories to D4. I'm your Dungeon Master, Matthew, and I'd like to welcome you back to our table here. Chloe, you got me startled.
What? I'm sorry.
For newcomers, I'd like to take a moment to introduce who we are before jumping into tonight's session. Don't worry if you haven't seen all of our content up until now. This is actually going to be a great night to join in on the ongoing adventure of the Kappleberry Caravan. All right, everyone. Victoria, if you don't mind starting us off, I'd love just to hear about who are you? I feel like I've never met you before.
All right. Well, I am Victoria, and I'm playing a level 4 abjuration wizard named Ismini Callister.
Hi, I'm Clella, and I'm playing a level 4 magus named Alilia Arendral.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm playing a level 4 alchemist artificer named Gwynwyn Grandfear.
Well, hello, my name is Jake. I am playing a level 4 fighter. He's a battle master. His name is Silas. He doesn't have a last name. But, yeah, that's about it.
Like racially speaking, what is Silas? Tell me a little bit more about that.
He's kind of big and he's kind of gray. But,
Big, gray.
Loxodon? Yeah, he's an elephant.
You're a giant elephant man. All right.
That's a lot.
And I would love to hear from our last player. Tell me a little about yourself.
Hi, I'm Connor. I'm playing a level 4 sorcerer. His name is Laurentius Thorne.
It's crazy, we're all level 4.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird. Honestly, I think there might be someone behind this. And we'll look into
hunt
it.
them.
We have to
Run, Matthew.
Can I have a level 5?
For those
please?
of you who may not be familiar, what we're doing tonight is we're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Now, Dungeons & Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game, which essentially means that the 6 of us get together every once in a while. We describe different scenarios. I, as the Dungeon Master, will create characters, places, and all sorts of monsters and adventures for them to go on. And using both their wits and some luck of their dice rolls, they may succeed or fail to overcome those challenges. I act as both a mediator for the rules, so kind of a referee of sorts, but on top of that, I also am every ally they meet on their adventure, every enemy hoping to be their downfall. And I'm even the laws of nature themselves. I wear a lot of hats here, but honestly, my favorite one is guiding you all along this adventure. Before we get started with our adventure, we're gonna do a little recap, introduce these characters once more for those of you who may not have seen everything yet, or just as a bit of a refresher. Welcome to our story. 5 adventurers, each with their own reasons, have been traveling towards the city of Eltz. This large kingdom on the southern corner of Gren is this massive, sprawling metropolis. Let's start with Alilia Arendral. Alilia is a half-elven magus who only recently began her adventuring career, sneaking away from her cushy life where she was raised by her 2 mothers, a pair of retired but very powerful adventurers. Just before the start of our adventure, a strange visitor came to visit her family's home, and after quite a large battle, left both of her parents, mighty fighters in their own right, incredibly injured. Hearing the words of that strange visitor, bring the child to Eltz. Our dear Alilia decided to ignore her parents' advice and travel, sneaking away towards the city far to the south. I'm gonna go ahead. You know what? For this, I have so many players who've been making faces at me. I'm not gonna let them hide behind the curtain,
I can do
if you will.
what Victoria was doing 2 seconds ago.
Y'all were there for that backlog? What?
Alilia, as a magus and as someone of noble birth, has had access to a number of tutors in both the arcane or magical arts and in swordplay, rendering her a bit of a hybrid tactician and advanced warrior on the battlefield. Next, let's talk about her closest companion, Ismini. Ismini is the youngest member of a small noble house in the Northern Kingdom, near where Alilia is from. The Callister family, of which she is the youngest daughter, is a notable family of mages and monster hunters who specialize in confronting outsiders, strange beings from worlds beyond our own, such as demons and devils, and even angels. Most notably, the research her family performs is often tied to binding and sealing these strange creatures. From a very young age, Ismini was given a singular task, one with which she performs most admirably: protect Ililie Arendral. As Ililie is a half-elf, she's a member of the House of Summer, an elven house which only has a few remaining members, meaning her protection is paramount to her people. Ever since, Ismini, sneaking away alongside Ililie, has been reporting to her supervisors within the family, or perhaps within the House of Summer itself. Next, I will introduce possibly our spookiest party member, Laurentius Thorne. Connor here plays a half-drow sorcerer with strange magical abilities, only recently having come into his powers. You recently had a very traumatic, I would say, experience in your hometown, with the loss of many individuals who were there, and the circumstances still a bit of a blur for both you and your companions. Having left Dunsmith, you now travel with the rest of the party towards Eltz, seeking out your remaining, but somewhat distant, relative. The last two, I actually struggled a bit to think how best to explain to you, our dear audience. And I realized that the problem was I was trying to describe them fully apart, when our dear Gwynwyn and Silas come as a package deal. These two, I'm gonna start with Gwynwyn. Gwynwyn is a dwarven alchemist. Though short and stocky, she's quite smart, having recently completed an apprenticeship, learning to make all sorts of potions and acids and strange concoctions. Unfortunately, that skill does not transfer over to her ability to cook. Growing up in a small village known as Anton Rest, Gwynwyn met our dear Silas when she was just a little girl. Unfortunately, Silas had lost his home in an attack by a massive blue dragon. Having left Kaldim, his childhood home, he then traveled to the Rest and was adopted by Gwynwyn's family. Growing up together, the two of them were nearly inseparable, and along with their dear friend Chester, the three of them grew up to be sort of local heroes, protecting from hobgoblin attacks, hunting for beasts, and generally being, I would say, small-time heroes. Unfortunately, Chester left the little village a few years ago, and now, having come of age, the two of you have decided to set off to the big city and find your dear friend. This kind of tells you a little bit about what happened before our campaign in a very brief summary. Each of these heroes came to know each other just a few weeks ago in a small city on the border of the city-state of Eltz. This town, Coppersbeck, was the first of their many adventures. You all went to festivals together, took odd jobs, made a bit of coin, and even fought a monster or two. Unfortunately, what truly caused the group to bond was the loss of Silas's boss and the benefactor of several of you, Oswald Kappleberry, let's call him bold merchant, very excitable, who had been traveling along with several of the party members, unfortunately perished, slain by a strange man who apparently painted the grisly scene he had created. Now, with a new cause in tow, the party has traveled through several villages and towns on their way to the capital, quick on the heels of that murderer. In Galavon, in the last couple of sessions, you all investigated another series of strange deaths, these ones seemingly unrelated to what had occurred with Oswald Kappleberry. Under the hire of a local journalist named Christine Cooper, you all investigated a company town with an almost cult-like fascination with the businessman who ran the mining facility. There in that facility, which had been shut down due to recent deaths, you all discovered a demon, a Mesoloth, a large, almost cockroach crustacean hybrid who some of you nearly perished to, but in the end, not only did you succeed, gaining a fair bit of experience and loot, you rescued a local Eltzian mercenary by the name of Adon Castillo. Dusting yourself off, Adon was very happy to work alongside as you snuck out of the facility and began to sneak down the mountain to find yourself a place to rest, and to gather your coin from Christine Cooper. And this is where we will start our session. It is late I suppose it's late in the evening, early in the morning. Long since past are the hours of the sun. You're exhausted, spells and abilities drained. This mostly unarmed mercenary walking with you, a sort of balding, bald. It's bald at this point. A bald, tanned-skinned man, smiling as he marches down in the darkness, lit dimly by the drift globe, a magical crystalline construct you carry with you, Silas, as you find your way down the mountain, successfully sneaking your way back into Galavon. What are you all doing?
Rest.
I am so tired.
Hit the tavern?
Yeah, I'm gonna
For
sleep.
sleep. For
I'm
sleep.
gonna sleep
I'm
in a
with
boot.
you.
Let's go sleep in the tavern.
Let's go.
Yeah,
sleep.
let's go sleep in the
only.
tavern.
We're just
Heading
asleep.
back? You'll go ahead and head back to that sort of double-decker tavern you had been to briefly before. It does have rooms. Yes, Gwynwyn?
I was gonna say we should probably hide the stuff first in the cart and then go into the tavern because we do have a bunch of stuff on us right now.
Oh, please. Feel free. If you have other things to do, feel free to tell me what you all are doing.
We have 2 giant barrels right now.
We
That's
do.
what it's carrying.
You could
A
just
lot of-
put it in it, like cover it,
Yeah.
and go to sleep. Like I think like we're just
Just
done.
drop off the junk
It's been a
and
long
let's go to sleep.
day, guys.
I have no arguments there.
That works for me.
Where did you leave the cart?
I thought we left it at the. We left it with Yosef. We told him to go to the tavern.
We don't know where he
Yosef
took
has
it.
We know he has it at the
But
tavern.
what
You
tavern?
lost the cart?
As a quick reminder, as it has been a little bit of time since our last session, you all make your way down, returning to the tavern in town, getting a few drinks before bed, perhaps.
Yep.
Reuniting with Yosef, the hireling who's been helping both watch and occasionally drive this small horse-drawn cart that you have, filled with the various supplies that Oswald left in his passing, as well as some of the trinkets you've picked up along your journey towards Eltz. You all are able to complete a long rest, your sheets relatively accurate here. Now, to kind of ease the gameplay a bit, we did talk a little bit about the shopping you were going to do on this next day here in Galavon. In addition, you can check in with Christine, get your financial reward. But if there's anything else you're doing today in Galavon, I would love to hear it.
My notes aren't perfect, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Christine for a little bit and just follow up on that rumor that we heard about another similar sounding death to Oswald's. I just wanted more detail on that death.
Oh yeah,
In the West End or something?
it was in the West End. Yeah, I mean that's my plan for the day is just do the shopping, exchange, talk to Christine, do our shopping, exchange the silverbacks, and get out of town. I feel like there's a ticking clock to like when people are gonna be like, hey, some people definitely snooped through the sorting facility.
Right, I
So-
think the problem
get
was
out of here.
I
Yeah.
think the problem was how much silverbacks we spent. We could probably spend
As a quick reminder,
amount.
so when it comes to the numbers, we actually already handled this earlier today. So just a quick kind of jumping ahead, we'll start kind of heading into the next day, early in the morning, able to head off to that market where you recently encountered some of the local wood elves. They briefly come out of their hidden respite within the Bulwark Forest just to the east. All of you are able to go quickly make some of these minor purchases that you discussed. Ismini going over, taking some hours in the wee morning to scribe a few additional spells from a local mage, low level, relatively easy to obtain. I believe there was discussion of obtaining some basic mundane supplies. Silas, anything interesting that you want to discuss?
Probably just grabbing some nets. I mean, I've been having to get food with a hammer for the past few days and a sling. That's not easy.
So it's so funny that you mentioned that. Well, the nets have specific mechanics when it comes to like using them in combat because they are usable. They can give restraint, which is a hard condition to get. They also can be used as a tool, and that's a very clever usage of that.
Yeah.
You know, if you go hunting with nets at some point, that might be relevant.
I want to catch a boar, not a bunny. I am hungry.
Boar hunting with a net. Hey man, I've seen crazier ways to get to death saves. Additionally, Gwynwyn, we've talked a little about some stuff that you were selling, some stuff you were looking to buy.
Yes.
Anything notable you'd like to mention here?
Gwynwyn does pick up a package. And it's wrapped very poorly, and she goes and she slams it in Silas's chest. It's like, here.
this is a few hours in. Your party's kind of split up at this point. You're feeling relatively confident. The town's been very calm. Guards have greeted you with a wave. You're safe for now. Silas, you've been unwrapping this little bundle.
Bundle of joy?
Says,
More nets.
Dwarvish for dummies.
Although,
I have most.
to be clear, looking over at the runes on the front, if you could read Dwarven verbatim, it's Durlundun Gimlin Ugakatuk. Like, it's fully incomprehensible, this massive line of Dwarven runes here. This is not a simple book. It's going to take you quite a bit of time.
You and I have been friends for far too long for you to not speak Dwarvish.
It's so funny.
I know.
Truly, 40 years.
I
You've
don't
been
know
here
how
for
to pick this
40
up yet.
years.
I know how to say short,
We're like-
angry, and bitchy. So I think I got you down.
Whoa.
What
I'm
was
not going to touch
last
that
I
one.
don't think the mic.
Short. Short was the last one,
Short
as a
was the
reminder.
He only knows short. It's okay.
Really, though. Oh.
Like, I
Also,
will remember
hi, Jen.
this.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Jen was a guest on our Halloween special, and absolutely, if you haven't checked that out, please do. It's on our YouTube. We'd love to have you come and check it out.
It's very good.
All right, so getting that book, now just to explain kind of mechanically what this is partially a gold investment and also a tool for you to be able to do this. During downtime, you can start reading through this text and begin to learn the language, sort of like learning a tool proficiency.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yep. It also is more, if you have a tutor, that process goes faster, possibly even twice as fast.
Luckily, I know Elf speaks Dwarvish, so I can ask her.
I don't speak.
Why did I think you did?
I speak Draconic. It hasn't come up yet, but just so you know.
I know.
So,
typically,
like, they speak Dwarvish, we speak Elvish, and
You speak common.
Do you
I
just speak Common?
I think I might have Loxodon too.
No, you specifically decided to not have the Loxodon tongue.
Do you guys speak Common?
My parents talked to me in common. They never taught me more than that. They died.
You were just a wee little lad.
It's not this PC's fault that your parents died.
It's not our
Could be.
fault.
It's
Could be.
hey, it's PC. It's water under the bridge. Old campaign.
Well, okay. And actually, I'm really excited to get to this. Now, Connor, you had Laurentius head out after waking up a little later than the rest of the party, heading out to the market. You were on the search for a magical item. Do you want to tell me a little bit about this one? Or is it a secret from me?
No. I was looking for that ruby.
The Ruby of the War Mage. You want to tell the party a little bit more about how this works?
Yeah. You spend 10 minutes, attach it to a weapon, and it becomes your spellcasting focus.
Nice.
What if my arms are the weapon?
Gosh.
Monk.
I play a fighter
Thorne's
for
gonna
Locked
go
on this
DPS?
this massive
What?
Thorne's gonna
great
go
time.
DPS.
I can just actually threaten while also casting spells.
Yes.
Shank him with a knife.
It is a very effective tool in that sense.
I thought it was more like a monk would get a really sick tattoo or like a subdermal implant for like the ruby in their arms.
Yeah.
I imagine that because it's not just a ruby, it's got I imagine that there's actually some sort of metallic base. It's almost like a setting that you see on a ring, but it's flat on the bottom, and you actually are attaching that physically using some sort of magic incantation.
I was gonna
over
stick
time.
it on like the pommel of my dagger.
Absolutely.
Got a nice little ruby pommel dagger.
Nice.
Yeah, a 60 gold ruby is pretty
Sizable.
pretty sizable. Now, granted, we've always kind of scaled up what we talked about in Dungeons and Dragons, but the dagger, the dagger itself, it is visible with this thing sheathed in sufficient light. I mean, people are going to notice. You recently got a nice coat. Now your dagger has a gem on the pommel.
I need to find him good pants.
Should
What?
we go buy him good pants while we're here? I will invest.
Okay.
If you'd
I
like
gotta-
would you like to purchase a pair of just nice?
What is
As long as
wrong
they
with my
match.
pants?
As long as
now
they
you
Looking
have a-
over,
you
for
have a
those of you who
nice
may not
coat.
see,
You have a nice coat now.
Laurentius recently obtained this very fine, like sort of a satin finish on the inside. But in addition, this beautiful coat underneath, he's wearing, kind of ruddy work shirt, couple tears, scuffs, strange green stains. And his pants are these thick, really thick material work pants with both of the knees have been worn off. That patch was worn off, new patch. There might be a little bit of a tear forming on one of his butt cheeks. It's rough.
All right, I may
buying him
need
socks.
some new pants.
If
Yeah, let's
you're
go
gonna
buy
be
new
doing a
pants.
job, you might as well look.
You could get work pants, you could get fancy pants to go with this. You could even get both. If you're looking for a set of just commoners work trousers, probably looking for somewhere around the 2 to 4 copper, depending on what you want to spend. But for if you want really fine, like an equivalent level of pant to this thing, you're probably looking more in the realm of about 5 gold pieces.
Marking it off
Silverback.
my sheet. We're getting him pants.
You gonna grab both of them?
He can grab his own pants. The work ones. He needs to look nice.
Oh my gosh. 5 gold pieces worth of pant was purchased for you. Later, if you end up having multiple pairs, this would be a set of fine clothing.
I'll just put it on the sheet.
Perfect.
Sorry. Look, if you're gonna be helping us make sales, you gotta look the part.
Are you exploiting me for my looks?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even there.
Look, I'm lawful
Charisma.
good. I'm not lawful stupid.
New alignment unlocked.
Okay.
Oh, my sheet says I'm chaotic stupid, actually.
Oh my goodness.
No,
that's
me
me.
IRL.
That
That's
would be the same
Laurentius.
alignment.
I would like to mention, for those of you who haven't already seen, underneath me, you'll probably see a little rotating set of faces. Beautiful, beautiful faces painted by our talented artist, Phil. We have his information in the description. Absolutely check him out. But you will be able to see the ability scores of the various characters here on Stories to D4. If you have a chance, and the carousel gets to Laurentius, take a look at his intelligence. It's interesting. Interesting.
You don't get a bottle cap.
I'm trying to get a bicycle.
Since we had to sit through that, can we get a bottle cap?
Absolutely not.
No bicycles for anybody at the table.
Wait.
Bicycle.
Bicycles.
Did I
Bicycle.
have bicycles or did I have
No, they both said the other thing.
I thought I said bicycles.
Secrets. It's like a whisper, only less lazy. Or more lazy? More lazy.
More lazy.
But I like it. I like
It's like
being
a
lazy.
whisper on paper.
Ooh.
I feel like it takes more effort to write it down.
Do you remember what it was from?
It was on the Shark Cleric.
Oh,
In their pouch.
okay. This is a fun. Can I just talk about this?
Yeah.
I realized that
This is a thing I
sorry.
want to talk about
Yeah, I was
specifically.
trying not to interrupt the session.
So, this isn't one thing about our campaign. We use a few homebrew rules. One of the ones that's a little bit odd, but really worked in our campaign setting last time, is that the spells that are reviving spells often use diamonds. Due to the scarcity of diamonds in our setting, they're generally more expensive. However, mechanically speaking, it is a 50 gold piece diamond. Now, if you'd like to go sell that, you would wager you would obtain several times more. Are you trying to get an exact price for now? Because I can give that to you.
No,
You're not telling anybody you have a diamond.
it was Elle's question. I just wrote it because
It might just be in someone's component pouch.
Okay.
Yours?
mine.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and just make sure I don't want you all to lose that. Now, again, 50 gold pieces
gonna write
mechanically
in
out of a
word
diamond.
mechanically.
That is significant for one of those spells.
You have like a full utility belt, so I figured you have room.
This campaign did need a Batman.
Yeah.
And it's our wizard. It's great.
Hey, utility is the best. I played a utility
Batman.
artificer.
Just imagine you pulling a cowl up.
Oh my god.
I am the knight.
So now we have our plans when we get to Eltz.
Where is she? Sorry. All right. After gathering your things from the market, let me just roll a quick. Elle,
Hi.
as you're kind of marching around, looking for various things, maybe you've picked up some extra fruits, kind of have a basket, spending a little bit of,
I was like looking for some salmon. I think I like woke up and I was like, I don't know.
You're actually very close to the coast.
Can I find a salmon bagel?
You.
Bagel.
Do bagels exist?
Like I want like
Rich
a
kid.
like a gravlax. Like
I have good news and bad news.
okay.
Good news, bagels exist. Bad news, you're not finding any fresh bagels this morning.
That's fine.
And I'm really sorry to tell you that. However, they're really common in the big city, which is just on the other side of the Bulwark
I'll
Forest.
look forward to it.
Wait, we're this close to the coast. Should we get a fishing rod? Nah.
You have nets.
If you'd like to look for, if you'd like to look,
There's
okay,
fishing
very
nets, though.
different.
They're different.
If you'd like to get
I know,
fishing
we all
supplies,
thought that's what
you can check it out. Either it's in the PHB under the tools, or if you want to Google it, that's fine. Just let me know at some point. You can retroactively grab that for the appropriate cost.
Too much thought for
It'd be very easy to grab here or in most markets.
I need one other person to say grab it for me to actually
Okay.
grab it.
As a reminder, Eltz itself is a city that's literally on the coast. There's a
I say
river
grab
that
it
runs
if you
through
want
it.
to.
So it's on the coast of the ocean.
I don't think we'll have to catch our own fish in Eltz.
You don't have to,
This
but if
is
you
like-
wanted to, that's absolutely something you could go do.
It's
There are
weird.
fishing boats.
I've never been in a city campaign. I'm just like, how do I eat? And like, apparently I go down
You have
to the
to
shop.
typically how we're gonna handle food for most of this campaign is we'll make survival checks to hunt down rats.
I'm glad I.
All right.
You can make some great rat stew.
Well,
No, you can't.
Elle,
I can.
Not at all.
now, Elle, as I was saying, you see that you catch Silas for a brief moment looking over, gazing longingly at this very fine set of fishing rods and all sorts of bait. And as you kind of go to approach, you hear a familiar voice, and you see a slightly hungover Christine Cooper. Excuse me.
Oh,
Yes.
we were looking for you.
Lilier, was it?
Yeah, just L. That's fine.
Oh. Sorry, working on a story. Well, I have some excellent news. I was hoping you could gather your friends, including the big one. I've heard some delightful developments on my story.
Is that a nickname for Gwynwyn?
I had meant no comment on her body. I was actually
She's so
referring to
tall,
the
you know.
general,
Oh, yes.
kind of referring to last time,
We did
our dear.
did reacquire him.
I sent him. I hope things were okay. I had seen some armed individuals heading up towards the facility,
Well, we're here and we're fine. So,
and quite a few people are in the guardhouse now, is my understanding.
maybe we should gather everyone. I'll tell you the whole story.
That would be excellent. I have a private room. I'll go ahead and have everyone gather there.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
She gives you the basic information, kind of heads off.
I assume his meanie's like 3 steps away from me, so.
As she walks away, you do see that whereas the other day you saw her, she was wearing that kind of fancy bright blue coat. She must have hidden that away in the backpack she now wears. The bow is still, the short bow that she had on her back is still there. She looks a little bit scuffed, like she's gotten into a tussle or maybe was going through some brambles. Things are a little bit torn up, just a little bit, as she kind of heads off. And you could go gather the rest of your party. Or is there anything else in the shopping district besides what we discussed before the session y'all wanted to talk about?
I think I fully.
Jake, are you getting fishing supplies?
I
Do
just
it.
don't see why I don't get fishing supplies.
Get the fishing supplies.
You have a
Get the
cart,
fishing supplies.
absolutely.
Exactly.
It's 1 gold piece.
Oh.
Get it.
Just one gold piece?
Wait,
Yeah.
I'd
I've
love.
spent so much already today.
Oh, actually,
2 gold.
Yosef, your companion at this point, kind of speaks up. I like to fish. You want to come with me sometime?
Friendship.
Turns out to have fishing proficiency.
I do.
Eat like kings.
I would.
For context,
Well-
we hired Yosef because we were hoping to get someone with a vehicle proficiency.
We got a fisherman instead of that.
We got a fisherman.
Well, where I live is kind of close to the bay, and sometimes we go fishing.
You'll have to show us sometime.
All right.
I've never fished before.
Yosef, kind of excited, kind of takes some of his greasy black hair, ties it up in a ponytail, kind of skipping around the rest of the day, a little bit excited to go fishing with his friends.
Yosef is
Before
great.
he starts to fall when he thinks, I don't think any fishing boat that I have ever been on could support Loxodon. You do weigh as much as like 3 people.
Time out. How
2.5
long does
feet.
the spell on large reduce?
Oh my goodness,
I
a
don't
minute.
have a spell.
I believe it's a minute.
We'll get to
It's a
fishing
minute or an hour,
mechanics
actually.
later.
We'll get to fishing
Like
in the
level
future.
15 for me on that one.
It's a level 2 spell.
Is that all this up? You have to wait till next level.
Just have to cast levitate on you or something.
One thing I did forget to say at the top, and I absolutely should have, we talked about this just before we started streaming. I'd like to take a moment right now and send best wishes to our dear man behind the scenes, Alex, who's unfortunately feeling a little bit under the weather and is at home. But hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Get well soon. We need you back. We gotta put you right back to work.
Yeah, come on, man. How dare you be sick?
Rude. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized it's daytime. Let me go ahead and switch us back. Well, you take some time gathering your last bit of things, gathering fishing supplies, and all manner of bait in this. The bait is actually in this nice, very pale wooden box with a small latch, able to grab a rod and. Yeah. This is not, besides the rod, it's all pretty small stuff that you can go ahead and toss into the cart. Probably don't need to carry the rod with you everywhere you go, especially with all the weapons you're carrying on you. you want me to say rod again, Victoria?
No, I was laughing because I'm just imagining Silas like every surface of his body covered in a different weapon. Like he's got them strapped to his chest,
Yes.
his back, his arms, got one in his boot.
Don't
On
forget
the
my tusk.
We also
Yeah.
we did talk a little bit
Tight
outside of
daggers
session.
to the tusk.
And Jake, some of your weapons you're gonna be storing. You're not gonna be carrying them all with you.
Oh yeah.
And we'll mess
now
with-
to grab that warhammer, or not warhammer.
Ooh, the glaive.
The glaive. We also grabbed like a mace.
Yes, you did recently grab that
You
as
have
well.
so many
I thought
weapons.
it's- No, there's no back camera.
Again, every surface of your body has some weapon strapped to it. It's just what I imagine.
When I said my arms were the weapon, I wasn't kidding.
All right.
Put your elbows into short swords.
Moving on ahead, you all are able to kind of get. Are you all okay with heading over and speaking with Miss Cooper?
Yeah.
By the time you find the journalist, she is kind of holed up in her room in that tavern from before. She's got a small kettle of tea that has been put on and set on the table in her room. She offers as many of you as she can seating, but this general room for one has 2 chairs and a bed to sit on. Silas, you are
Doesn't-
gently asked to stand or sit on the ground.
I'll just stand in the corner.
Well-
I'm used to it.
First things first, your payment. And she begins doling out that money, already implemented on your sheet. But I have excellent news. It appears that quite a few individuals were apprehended by some do-gooders. And as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem that Mr. O'Brien has sent anyone out.
Oh, that's good.
Now, I must ask, what did you learn? What happened there?
Lots of things.
So
She
first,
pulls out a small pad and quill.
You might need a bigger pad.
Silas is just looking at his media to see what he does. Oh my.
first off, and probably the most tantalizing bit of all, but I can probably get you in contact with, the person behind a portion of it at least. Call them middle management. So, it seems that management, not actually O'Brien, but management at the sorting facility may or may not have been involved in attempting to summon outsiders,
Devils, demons.
devils, demons, and
Fiend summoning.
successfully
Oh,
demons.
this is front page stuff. Do you have any hard material evidence?
I think we can't hurt the book.
Yeah.
Do you want to give her the incident report?
Yeah. That's the green book. Remember, I wrote down the words "green book." That green book. goes to her.
It's the incident
Yes.
report.
Okay. Great.
Yes,
Perfect.
exactly. Kind of take this over. Begins. You watch, and those of you who are kind of close can watch the eyes quickly going over this information, and the other hand moving just as quickly as she begins jotting down notes. I can have someone make a copy of this. Can I keep this?
Sure.
Having a primary source of, oh, this is going to get me out of my job. She's
So-
very excited, and as she does, again, she's this human woman, but you watch as she's sort of moving around, her hair kind of jostles a little bit, and on the left side of her face, you do see there is kind of, it's too big to be a welt on top of her head, but it's scooped over right here on the side of her head, kind of just briefly moving around. There's something under there. Maybe it's like a large sort of hairpin or decorative thing. Hard to tell what's going on. Without like a perception check.
Can I?
We would
I
all
was asking that, yes.
Let's go. First roll.
Oh, damn it. Hey, Matt. What's a 24 perception get me?
There is a horn hidden under her hair. It appears that Miss Cooper is a secret tiefling.
We need to call them out when they happen.
Small bit of fiend blood.
Tiefling.
We have to call them out when they happen.
Oh, the natural 20?
No.
Is there a natural one?
And a natural 20?
All right.
We're required by law to
As
point
you're-
out
I did get
all-
an out one, yes.
Now, some of you might notice there's a moment where Christine Cooper's really pretty. And you might be I'm not saying anything about how you feel, but there's a moment where you're just like, that was a very attractive person.
She's good face bone.
Sorry, who was speaking?
Yes.
Play what you know.
Play what you know. And that's why Jake is an elephant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say that's why I'm mean, but you know.
Well, kind of looking. You just see, and kind of, she doesn't seem to pay attention. She's too excited about this book to notice that anyone had caught on. But Silas, you do just briefly clock that she has been hiding away. It is small, and with a 24, gosh, that's almost 5 beyond my DC. It looks like she's been filing down her horn.
I don't tell anyone about the horn. No one else in the party knows unless they roll.
Oh man! Anybody break a 20?
Nope.
Oh.
No one else knows.
I got a 12.
Yeah, I got a 12.
I got it.
But you're very clear, there's something weird on her head.
Whatever.
She's got a weird bump that's about this big under her hair.
Not me.
She got it's not an updo, but it's a swoop-do.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
She slept weird on her hair, whatever. So, if you'd like to, do you like road trips?
Yes, but unfortunately, I have a series of interviews planned while I'm here in Galavon before potentially returning to Eltz. I will need a bit more time.
Point to the incident report and just say, Orwin's currently in jail in Walnut Hill.
He won't be there for long.
You want to pass along the information you have?
Yeah.
You would know he'd be processed there and brought to Eltz.
Yeah, just letting her know where he currently is, though.
Kind of gathering over that information, you have kind of summarizing a little bit of what we have here, making sure everyone's on the same page, both here and there. Orwin was this evil mage you encountered who'd been working with some really dark necromancy. Going through here, you recently found out that Orwin was actually working in the mining facility and utilizing some of the people who maybe died in the mines, perished through natural or unnatural causes, and doing a little bit of demon summoning that actually led to the deaths of even more people. Each of these people who died here in O'Brien facility, their bodies were being whisked away and used for some sort of evil necromancy.
Yeah.
Most notably, your dear friend Sula was brought back as a sentient zombie with strange resistances and a lot more intelligence than his visible form would typically have. I have so many questions I have to ask everyone. This is going to be excellent. You said you were going to Eltz, you had said?
Yes.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to use our names in the story?
If need be, I can remove or censor any of your names. I am happy to keep my sources private for any of those who'd wish. I apologize. Normally, my sources are entirely anonymous, but when it comes to adventurers and those who gallivant around with weapons and going and fighting monsters, they often like having their name on the front page.
I think we're fine with our names. No, you don't want your name, Silas?
Something tells me this group doesn't need its name out there. Distinctly remembering how we walked away with a bunch of silverbacks.
As a reminder, you left the vault untouched.
Remember, we didn't choose to buy any of the big stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you grabbed some silverbacks, but like a truly trivial amount compared to the many hundreds of thousands that were in the vault.
Should have let the town dry.
We did a huge debate about the economics last time.
No.
we
about
would
ruining
have
this
crushed
town or
their
not.
economics or some weird shit like that.
No, you would have gotten arrested.
I'm fine. I just want to make one slight edit to the name that you select. But besides that, I have no problems.
Of course.
Yeah, just write L Oblivion.
L. Okay. I'm gonna make a history check. Fun fact: this journalist is a bit of a historian.
She already knows my last name, so.
Right.
Oh, right. I apologize. It's been a while for me as well. Kind of thinks over there. I think that will be subtle for those who aren't looking for it.
It's the goal.
Okay.
Can you also sign it the Kappleberry Caravan? Or what, did we decide on a name
Is
for
that what
ourselves?
we're?
Is that a joke?
Is that what we call ourselves?
We do kind of just call
To be fair,
ourselves
the Kappleberry Caravan is what you were
That's
calling the
meta.
business that you were running.
Yeah,
and
that's the
it's a convenient
business.
term we've used a little bit.
Yeah,
not
that's
ads.
very meta knowledge.
Like, we need a business name. If we don't have one yet, I thought that was the business.
We don't have a name as
We're
a group
not.
of humans and non-humans together.
No, we just have a merchant selling name when we go to sell things for the Kappleberry.
Exactly.
Caravan.
I'm thinking
It's
of
not
marketing.
us selling things. This
I
is
want
us
someone
going
to
adventuring.
recognize that name and buy from us.
How about we'll workshop it?
We'll workshop it. We'll put a pin in it. Don't worry about my comments.
Circle back. Don't worry.
All right. Well, I figure I'll stay here no longer than a week more in Galavon and before I head back to Eltz. If you're still in the city, I'd be happy to, talk to some of my folks and try to find you.
I am gonna say now that my assumption is that we're not a subtle group.
Yeah. We just look for explosions, but that's gonna be us.
In a way.
We're not it seems like we're not going to be very subtle.
My players never are.
We don't know how to be subtle. What's not blowing up a building when we come across it?
I actually don't think
not
I've made a
exploding a ship?
self-check yet. This
Well,
made it work.
Then I suppose you'd be easy to find, and if you need to find me, I have a small cottage over in the Arches near the Moonlit Message where I work.
Okay, let's go.
The Arches.
Moonlit message.
Is that in the West End?
Yes.
Okay, we only know one part of the city.
Yeah, we literally only know about one thing.
Oh, well, Eltz is a bit. It can be challenging. It's a bit larger than most of the places. By the way, have you left Adon? Is Adon still sleeping, by the way?
Probably. He's in a spider
Adon is
web.
still in his room, which is on the other side of this floor. So he's a bit away.
I would have
at this
assumed
point.
he went drinking with Laurentius.
Yeah, he also was tied up in webbing for 3 straight days.
Yeah.
That's kind
I would be tired.
of
He did have multiple points of exhaustion. Everything he did last session was at disadvantage.
Good for him.
Still managed to grapple? Impressive.
I know.
He's not super strong. He rolled pretty well. I want to clarify that ahead of time.
Where does she work?
the
The Moonlit Message.
Why did I think that was where she lived?
Ah. She lives near her place of employment, which is the Moonlight Message. Not Moonlight, but Moonlit.
Moonlit. It's a small rag made in the West End.
Right.
Typically it's distributed during nighttime, but you haven't really asked as to why or anything about it.
We'll
Is it
figure
like
it out.
People or USA Today?
We can't do
it
this. We
tabloid
did this
next?
last time. We can't compare it to real newspaper.
Right.
Well,
You buy it at the grocery
It's
store.
worse.
technically, my story, the Scoop with Coop, my column in the Moonlit Message, unfortunately, it isn't distributed typically during the sunlight hours as... technically, my employers don't necessarily pay all their fees to the guilds, and as such, well, my story is cheaper for people to read because of it. I'm really working on it. This could be the scoop I need to get a much better job.
They should get like a sunlit message as like a morning.
It feels a bit
paper.
derivative. Also, they've been Nope, can't make those jokes. Cannot make those jokes. Cut the mics.
Okay. Awesome.
Is there a good way to get in contact with the guilds once we get to Eltz?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. There are several dozen guilds within the city.
I mean, we've got some things to sell. Might as well go through the right channels.
I mean, but the person whose stuff we're selling went through the right channels.
He has paperwork. I still need to read it.
None of you ever got Oswald Kappleberry's guild membership badge.
Wait, was that on his what?
Yes.
We buried him with it.
Did we bury him with it?
I didn't even
Yes,
know about
you-
it. I was
you-
the hired hand.
I don't
You
know.
explicitly said that you did not want to loot his corpse.
You didn't let us loot his corpse.
His body. He was our friend.
Corpse?
Well,
We only knew him
if
for like
you're
a
looking
few
to
days.
sell things, you could try to. I would, selling things here in Galavon's a bit easier, but once you head into town, the honest merchants are going to be a bit more difficult to get around.
But I'm sure they have records of who registers with them, right?
Certainly, but if this man is perished, unfortunately,
Yeah.
that would technically be the guild's property then.
Oh.
Silas puts a scowl on. I don't
Good
like that.
thing
If you would
that
like to-
we are just in Oswald's stead.
No, because it still belongs to them, which means that we're not in Oswald's stead.
Well, we just
But we
these are
don't-
our own goods.
We don't have any paperwork. How are they gonna?
Right.
We're gonna have to
You
get
are-
new paperwork.
You are in a Wainwright wagon.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do with all of Oddball's crap?
We just scratch off the serial numbers. They won't know.
No.
You gonna think for a moment?
Fine.
Take down corporate corruption in Galavon, then tackle the guilds. Okay.
Great.
Are the guilds problematic?
Everything's problematic.
Everything is
The
problematic.
Merchants Guild is occasionally challenging. I know that they take a large cut from what people sell, which can make it a little difficult for smaller merchants to have their stores.
So if someone said needed to get rid of some goods, perhaps during the moonlit hours,
I'm sorry,
Maybe-
I really don't. I'm just a reporter.
Right. I think
Okay.
the point of more when we go into town with all of Oswald's stuff's going to be
It's taken up by the
taken
Merchant
and
Guild.
sold.
Yeah. So we should try to sell as much of this as we can here.
This is a deviation from what we planned.
Yeah, that's a little different.
and then we roll into town with just a lot of money.
I'm gonna excuse myself and start going to the cart to look at the ledger again.
You have the ledger.
Actually, I think we gave it to her.
No, you have the ledger. I personally, as a person, have a copy of the ledger to help out.
Yeah, that I might borrow from you because Jake
Because
doesn't.
I don't have the ledger.
I gave it to her because I'm not responsible.
You've been keeping track of the lockbox. We haven't added anything to the ledger.
Lockbox is just
my loot.
the lockbox is just his money,
Cool.
which means if he's ever robbed,
True, but who would rob a giant elephant?
you are a very big elephant man.
You're a big target.
This is actually wood.
Yeah.
Thanks, Victoria's dad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love our table.
I know it's my favorite thing ever.
Those dragon scales.
But no.
We gotta sell them.
Did we? Oh, we need to add
Sold
the
them.
myth. We need to add the mithril and stuff from last session.
We can't.
And the cold iron.
And the cold iron.
You would. Oh, so I just asking because we did talk about doing shopping stuff before. You're talking about doing several days worth of labor, setting up a stall.
Right. No. I'm saying that to that ledger we need to add the barrel of mithril and the barrel of cold iron.
I say we just go to Eltz.
Yeah.
I think it's dangerous for us to stay in this town.
We don't need to.
Much less set up a shop when we just.
How
Are gonna be
difficult is
selling
it
what
to
we stole?
apply and become for being part of the merchant guild.
Do you happen to know?
You know?
We're asking this for-
Okay, so out of character, just gonna explain.
She knows
so
nothing.
She kind of explains a
She's
little
like,
bit.
I-
She knows that with all the guilds, you'd go to a guild hall. So the how a guild works, there's like an overarching body that controls this. They have badges that indicate your status within the guilds, but there are all sorts of individual companies. So for example, O'Brien Steel is a member of the Stone Tenders Guild, which handles mining and smelting. So you go if you wanted to go, you could go try to get hired as an apprentice to an already gilded member of one of the merchant guilds. The merchant guild is the union of honest merchants.
What if one of us just looked like Oswald?
I can.
We
do
don't
that.
have a badge.
I can do that.
But if
Can
Oswald
look like
lost
we have
it-
a badge.
Oh god, if
Can you
Oswald lost
also
it,
do that?
you could apply to get
Oh.
a new one probably.
I know
I can do that.
she
That's
can make
pretty clever.
I can
potions.
also do that.
Oh god.
I can just cast a spell.
I
Oh,
can also.
there you
Yeah,
go.
I also. Great. We could just.
We
be,
could, but that's assuming that there's nobody who would have magic
That's
to check.
Yeah, I would
That's
have, like-
plan B. That's plan
Okay,
B.
Plan B. Let's just go.
Let's
Let's
leave
just
town.
apply. We have money.
Wait, I have a way to help.
Was that my buds? Y'all in there?
Yeah.
Y'all mind if I join the party?
Come join us.
Join us.
Coming in, you see, still glistening, wearing his armor from like toe to hip. The red shirt is gone. Is just Adon Castillo kind of steps in. Hey y'all!
Listening.
Oh, I just went ahead and got myself a little cleaned up outside in the trough.
What
Dawn, Christina, Dawn. He was under the entire sorting facility.
Christina's baffled.
He was under the sorting facility for 3 days in a spider's web.
It was almost eaten by a demon, so.
But I wasn't, because these guys.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
But he probably has some really interesting information.
I thought we were. So, just asking here as you kind of guys link up, he was planning on going with you to Eltz.
he was.
so he's
Yeah,
leaving.
yeah.
I was-
Do you want to leave him here for a
no.
week?
I think if
No.
there's someone we want to badger on the way
He
there,
lives in
Eltz.
Eltz.
No,
Yeah,
my
let's take him.
that-
Let's go to Eltz.
my
right now.
my
So
point
is
was
Yosef. You have
misunderstood.
people.
My point was misunderstood. I want to leave them together for like 15 to 20 minutes for it to be a
Sure.
meet. I want it to be like a meet cute.
Well, he's shirtless, having just got out of the shower.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
The trough.
starting the beginning of the novel. He just got out of the novel.
Sorry.
He He got out of the trough. He meets the reporter girl.
He is ripped.
Right? No,
He's a big jacked guy.
let me play matchmaker every once in a while.
I'm gonna go check my
I would-
Smith's tools.
I want to ask anyone who is proficient in medicine to make me a medicine check.
I don't think that's any of us.
No, it's none of
We
us.
talked about this.
Is it none of you?
I was, but now I'm not because I changed my character before we started playing.
All right, I'll just allow. I would allow 2 people to roll this.
Should not be Gwen.
I think I have a decent understanding of medicine.
Okay.
I think I probably, in that case, have the.
Is this
second
medicine
best
check in relation to attraction?
No, this medicine check is actually looking. You do see Adon, as a reminder, on his left arm is actually there is a visible scar where at some point it appears that he lost his arm.
Is he human?
He is a human male.
So is he missing an arm?
He is missing an arm from the elbow down. That you don't need the medicine check to notice that he's missing an arm.
17.
18.
Okay, with an 18,
Plus 2.
this
Yeah.
2 things. That's actually 2 successes. First things first, the obvious. His arm was cut by some sort of sharp weapon. There's a strange aspect to it. Now, unfortunately, you need some more context to know how this is the case. But the cut itself, the way the scarring looks, the wound here appears to be an intentional thing, not something obtained during a battle. It's very clean, like it's a very straight scar.
Almost surgical.
No, not that sort of precise. Still looks hacked away with like a bladed weapon,
like-
but it's calm. It doesn't. It's not. You'd expect like more of an angle than what you see here.
Somebody's gonna die unless you cut off their arm but you're not like in like a hospital, so you cut their arm off.
Like if they got bit by a spider.
These are speculations my players are making.
Yeah,
Yes,
like if
I'm-
they poison.
Right. Right. No, I'm
Take
just.
the last
I'm.
At this point, Adon sits down, kind of scooches in, sits down next to Christine, and starts telling his part of the story.
I'm gonna go check my smithing tools.
Christine starts fanning herself.
Oh, Christine.
Great. I'm so happy that we have set up the.
Yes, every NPC must be shipped with something, apparently.
A tree, a rock, a dawn, whatever. They're all the same.
Did you just
That's
objectify a dog?
not righteous to say about me.
I was out of character, bro.
So was this. Well, Adon continues, goes ahead and tells some story. You head out, go get your horses resaddled, or not saddled, reattach them to the wagon. Get Yosef, who's now gathered some more of supplies of his own. This is actually for Silas. Silas, you've now been working with him for enough time that I think it may be necessary for you to do his quick payment. Now, originally, I assumed you were paying him somewhere around 3 silver pieces a day. Is that still correct?
Yeah, I think we talked about 2, but I'm not going to be cheap, so 3 is fine.
Were you trying to? Because I thought you got offered to raise. He was at 2.
We offered him a raise.
He did offer.
Okay.
Be a good person.
That's fair.
Go ahead and mark off 25 silver pieces for me.
25 silver. That's not actually too bad at all. We should hire more people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That's-
fine. Just don't bring them all with you to dungeons.
We don't even bring Yosef to dungeon.
No,
Oh,
Yosef is very weak. He's a very weak man, but he can lift boxes. He can ride a cart.
Can we give him horse riding lessons?
Yes.
Do we want to just like train Yosef?
Yeah.
Like, is
Take
this
him
what
to
our
the-
campaign is?
Yosef, you were supposed to be our cart.
Truck driver.
It's
But
like in
he's
like
better at
Pokemon,
fishing.
you always have a Pokemon that's good for like cutting down trees.
HM
And-
slave is what they called it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Actually.
it's rough. Pokemon is a
Well,
cutthroat
Butterfly.
community.
It was Bidoof,
Flash,
I think was the one.
Bidoof and Bibarel,
Always
yep.
had strength, serve, cut. I hate that I know this.
I would like to return to Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, going ahead and getting your things ready for the road, kind of hopefully putting Galavon behind you. Is there any last step before we begin the last leg of our journey to Eltz?
I'm gonna say a short prayer. It's been a lot so far. Hopefully it'll be calmer going
Who are
forward.
you praying to?
Oh, probably the son, the judge. I always
Morning
forget the name.
laughter?
The High Judge?
High judge.
All right, the High Judge. The Morning Lord is who you were thinking of, Amanda. Both of which are good gods, but a little bit different. Just a moment, I'll go put that music back on. Go ahead, give me a quick religion check as you sort of say a prayer taking a few steps out into the courtyard in front of this tavern, seeing Yosef kind of loading things up, using your, taking a moment, helping him load things. He gives you thanks. What was that religion check?
19. This die is on fire.
That die is really good. We shouldn't let Jake keep touching it. It's dangerous.
No.
He's going to curse it.
Oh god.
It's gonna break.
You kind of have this moment of just solemn peace. You kind of look out for a moment, and you actually kind of, as you're gazing over the town, again, Galavon is kind of near the end of these rolling hills that you've been traveling on the past few weeks. And here where it's kind of flat, you're kind of gazing over, and just the right angle for you to see a bugbear being escorted in chains into into a guardhouse, and a dwarf as well.
Remember.
Some of the various folks that you defeated, arrested, otherwise took care of non-lethally during the previous evening's escapades.
So down in the middle of town in the middle of the night, yeah.
We did also send down a lot of people's portraits and.
You did. Now, the fall of that, you haven't heard about that yet. Christine didn't bring it up. Does not seem that that is something that people are aware of yet.
It will come up.
I
need to know.
I would really have wished that we could talk to the dwarf.
We should have, but we didn't have time.
Now you have to do a little bit of explain. Now that's always an option. Everything you can always try things, but you would know now. He's I almost said captivity. He's imprisoned. You'd have to explain how you knew about him.
Hang on, let me check the range of one of my spells.
This is bad. Does Squawk still have? I know he technically couldn't carry it.
hope the bugbear got my
evil religious
I took
symbol.
the-
I hope he
I
peed
took
his
the-
pants after I left his hand in the water.
Did you see a stain?
You did what?
Yeah,
I-
I played a little bit of pranks on the bugbear and the goblins.
two
When you
for
say
two.
they, I'm not convinced you weren't in this.
Hey, I just didn't stop them.
I just wrote
Yeah,
a
I
funny
did.
note.
Yeah.
I've done that twice now.
What's up with you, Notes?
I
Why
put
did
his-
you put his hand in water?
I put his hand in the water to make him pee his pants. And then I
funny.
put his other hand on his
Where did you
goblin
learn
buddy's
this?
butt.
This is common knowledge.
Yes, during the last session you did cause a bugbear to wet his fur. You can only imagine the horrid smell of the cell that bugbear and dwarf now share.
Perfect punishment.
It's way worse than wet dog.
Justice.
It's way worse. Bugbear, sort of a very Wookiee type of creature. 7 feet tall, big muscles, lots of hair. They're the largest of the goblinoids. That's my girl! Everyone, join me. We will now conduct the rest of the campaign like jocks. All right. Gathering your things. Take a little bit of time for you to get everything together. Loading up. Ready to head out of Galavon?
Yep.
As ready as well, Verby.
At long last, the footsteps, or the sound of horses walking along the paved streets of Galavon. All of our adventurers, Yosef and Adon Castillo, now make their way eastward. Adon now has gone ahead and shared his part of the story with Christine, who's staying behind to continue her interviews and learn a little bit more about what's going on in Galavon with O'Brien Steele. You all begin navigating towards the Bulwark, this large forest which protects the western edge of the city of Eltz. Has an actual road that passes through it. Several of them at the other border cities, like Galavon, that are located along the forest's western edge. As you begin piercing into the forest, the road itself is probably 25, almost 30 feet wide, well maintained. The stones don't appear to be local, at least to the forest itself, and so there's a very clear delineation of the actual road you now travel upon and the forest, the natural wooded area around here. As we begin traveling through here, it's not far. You know that it's about half to 2/3 day travel. That's it. You'll be at the city gates. The bulwark's not massive, but it is a natural defense against raiders and those who would come to bring armies to bear against the capital. Along the way, you do notice a very inconvenient truth. Guys, I can't understand your stagecoach driver. This guy just, the way he talks is incomprehensible to me.
We can translate for you.
I'd really appreciate that, because I just feel like I can't talk to Yosef.
I mean,
I don't understand what this guy says either.
It's almost like you guys can't talk at the same time.
No, it's a real challenge, right? Oh, I will talk to myself if I have to. But of the two of them, truly, Jake is going to be as small as he can. He's Jake the little elephant.
Silas is just gonna walk forward.
Silas walking ahead of the cart. Now again, you all can't sit in the cart. You have the coach itself is enough where 2, maybe 3 people can sit. I said coach, but the wagon has a small seating in the front for 2 or 3 people. 3 if they're relatively small, but is so loaded up with supplies, barrels filled with metal, different sorts of both like textiles and other raw materials. So for the most part, it's 2 people in the cart. The rest of the party walking alongside. It's traveling at a, not even a brisk pace, just relatively slow as you travel through the woods here. Things are calm. The bulwark is relatively safe. The trees here continuously getting taller as you navigate deeper and deeper into this relatively ancient wooded area.
I'm gonna sit in the cart and just let Squawk be our eyes about 1,000 feet above us. The obsidian raven skull on the front of your clothing bursts forward, and a small set of, I almost said leaves, feathers, bursts out as Squawk the raven flies up into the air, Before he
floating
goes,
between trees. Oh,
I'd like to let him have a little moment with the holy symbol of Shar, because he really seems to like it a lot.
Anyone else watching this?
yeah.
Yeah.
This is like, Squawk is a weird bird. Like, I understand that Squawk is like,
Squawk is a raven with an obsidian skull for a head. It's very Cubone. We went to Pokemon once. We'll dip into that well more than
Again,
once.
he's Cubone.
It's Cubone if Cubone was a bird and the skull was made of shiny black glass.
I don't like.
Oh,
Squawk and I
flying
don't
Cubone.
get along.
Squawk looks at you. I thought decent about that one.
Yeah.
Back at him. Kind of looks over and
Squawk at him back. Speak his language.
Assert your dominance.
I know you know what that means.
kind of puffs out his feathers in all directions. Flies up into the...
I know you stole my sunflower seeds.
A couple times, Squawk dive bombs at Elle, just kind of like little pinch at the hair.
Hope he doesn't have to go to the bathroom.
Flying out. Occasionally, as you sort of warg out into Squawk's eyes, there's a slight familiarity of this place because you first you don't place it, but perhaps Elle is gonna aid you on this, as the bulwark is most close. The closest comparison you can make is back home in the elven woods of Jubilee.
I want to collect a few leaves.
Absolutely, you want to take? Would you like to take some time off the beaten path here?
Yeah, I just like, I'll even like expeditious retreat myself, like so I can run along and gather some leaves. And
Cast a spell and quickly begin sprinting. You watch as Elle is running. There starts off where Elle is running quickly and then begins bounding where gracefully the feet are like only touching the ground every 10 feet, 15 feet. Jumping over a rock, avoiding disturbing a small puddle as you begin picking things up. Roll me a quick D20.
2. Working my way through my die.
Finding the best one for today.
Wait. Does that sound like battle music to anyone else?
As you begin leaping through the woods, you're probably about 80, 90 feet away from the road.
Yeah.
The scent of blood hits your nose. Stopping, looking around. What's your passive perception?
Not great. I'm pretty sure it is an 11.
I think you're one of these.
On 11. It takes you a solid beat, and you don't actually catch the creature before it clocks you. Yeah. This small, pained, almost like a whimper, and you kind of turn, looking towards the side. Lying on the ground, resting its back on the back, pressed up against the bark of one of these ancient elven trees, is a humanoid figure. their skin on the top exposed, covered in thin-lined blue tattoos, and strange, almost these furry, incorrectly angled legs. It appears to be some sort of, well, this is something you'd recognize. It is a satyr. Unfortunately, you do see that where you would see its face, you do see is covered in a thick layer of blood. It whimpers kind of fearfully, and you see no horns atop the creature.
Oh my gosh.
It begins to speak in... What languages do you speak, El?
Common, Draconic, and Elvish.
Well, you don't understand the specific words. As this creature speaks out to you, it just... You recognize the syllables of this? It is speaking Sylvan. And as it begins speaking, uttering to you, it sounds afraid and panic, kind of tries to stand up and scooch back just a little bit.
Don't.
It is about a medium-sized creature. It's about the size of a man, but this creature here kind of looks up to you and is confused. You see, looking around now, kind of lower perception from before, there are wounds on this creature, and you see discarded a pair of arrows and similar wounds.
No, I want to think. Do I think I've used a healing potion before? Mm-hmm. They're not like they don't like do miracles or anything like that.
So
do I think it would be effective?
So what are you trying to do? Looking at this right now, it's hard. You have to make a medicine check to try to estimate how close to death this creature is. You can tell it's very hurt.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that medicine
Please
check.
do.
I think regardless.
Also, the party, just to let you know, because she was about 100 feet off the side of the road, so you're going this way. She's like here. You're just continuing moving along this direction. Not yet called out.
Not good. 5.
And then we do have Squawk in the air.
You do have Squawk in the air. You can give me a perception
think
check
he's
this random.
I don't think he's gonna get it,
Yeah,
but
I think
It's pretty hard. I'll admit it's pretty hard for this.
regardless. I think I don't think a 5 is gonna get me much, but I pull out the healing potion and just kind of and like gently walk forward slowly.
Continue the series of Sylvan. As he's speaking, it almost sounds like as he breathes out, rather than these harder consonants you hear with something like Dwarven. There's whistling, there's intonations of various pitches, and most often you hear what sounds to be the rustling of wind. As it's speaking, it's kind of tentative and calm. It lets you like kind of kneel down near it.
And I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm switching between common. I'm switching between my languages just in case.
If you switch to Elvish, it like looks and kind of squints. It's confused. The two languages share so much.
Yeah.
They're not. You don't understand each other, but you're able to convey basic emotions.
Yeah, and I offer it up to their lips like.
And he takes this a little bit readily. You've been kind of gentle.
Yeah.
As it begins to sip, you watch as some of the arrow wounds, what looks to be some minor bruising where it looks like hands had grabbed at this creature, begin to soften, the wounds closing slightly, and the actual horns, now the horns don't regrow, that would require something like regeneration. Unlike moose and deer, goats don't shed their horns. That's one thing. Special things about deer. And in the satyr's case, it does not appear that that's the case, but as it begins to kind of cap, almost like scabbing over a little bit, it looks calm, and from behind you hear the release, like the calm release of tension in a bow, rather than firing, of slowly like relieving the tension, and you're aware of another creature nearby.
Staying very still.
What was the perception check?
it was an 8. Not
It was an 8. I'm so
not
sorry.
at all. Nothing.
Pretty far.
Intentionally.
But at this point,
walk out to
Ismini's
help. Didn't work.
Ismini and the rest of you would have noticed she's been gone for over a minute.
Yeah, I don't want to yell out and.
Are you calling out?
No.
The creature, as you turn, wears a collection of these beautiful vine-like but impossibly thin green strands, each of which has these different colors of leaves and dyed fabrics that seem to be collected and sort of mismatched. It appears to be some sort of wood elf who is lowering a bow. It appears you've encountered one of the wood elves of the Bulwark.
In Elvish. I don't know when I'm interrupting here.
Did you hurt this one?
No, I just. You weren't the one that shot. They had arrow wounds. I don't carry a bow.
Kind of looks over, switches from Elvish into that, again, sort of familiar tone of Sylvan, and the creature speaks back. The satyr, a humanoid, an intelligent creature, but a magical, kind of mythical sort of beast, kind of begins slowly standing up. And at this point, you notice, is a little bit taller than you may have expected at first, and doesn't walk, but skips over to the wood elf's side, kind of curiously bending and bobbing and looking at you, whispers, and as the whisper almost sounds like the tweeting of birds. The tension of the elf relaxes. The bow goes fully by his side. Who are you?
Lilia Arendra. I met, obviously not all wood elves know each other, but I met a few wood elves of the Bulwark, or one back in Galavan.
We are of the Teyrilla, not of this bulwark.
Oh.
A false name.
Unfortunately, most of the elven names for these places aren't commonly shared. I was just trying to help.
Your kindness.
These woods are sacred.
You can tell he takes a moment, like he came here, he's coming down from an adrenaline high. This man who you're kind of catching on, so he's older than you, but he's also a full-blooded elf, and probably 60 or so.
Yeah.
This is a younger boy in terms of elven years, but physically mature, but like you would assume not really out of the house yet at this point.
Like Thorne.
Like
Thorne's 19.
You're both half-elves.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know her.
Sweet boy, I hope
Well-
you're still alive.
As kind of takes a moment, the adrenaline passes. There have been hunters.
Attacking satyrs?
Many of the creatures of the wildlands, kind of translated over would be the Feywild, are prized by those from the city. What they use the horn for, I don't know.
They're taking... It's horrible.
I will bring this one to Teyrilla for mending.
Maybe one day I'll get to go there. Maybe. Working on it.
The elf kind of like looks very dismissive and gently like locks hands with this kind of fey creature before kind of takes his first step away from you.
Do I at least get a name?
Perhaps if the Moon Mother wills it, you will see Teyrilla one day.
Well, I hope she does then.
And Lucas.
Bye, Lucas.
And you watch as dead silent this wood elven scout begins to walk with the skipping satyr back into the wood.
Gotta figure out how to do that.
Stealth is useful.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I find a very cool leaf.
You want to take a moment and go recap with the party?
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Great.
I met a satyr.
Hunters are from the city are hunting Feywild.
What's a satyr?
What's a satyr? Yeah.
What's a satyr?
Like a goat from like the bottom half down, and like a person. Well, I mean, goats can be people too, but
A centaur.
no. That's
So
horse.
it has 4 legs.
No, just 2.
No, Minotaur.
Minotaur.
You saw a Minotaur.
No, that's bull.
Yo, I've fought a Minotaur before. It's great because you get to literally grab the bull by the horns.
If you see
Don't
any
touch my
satyr
tusks.
horns, let me know. Oh, I met some
Okay.
guy named
I don't-
Lucas also.
I don't really like know you that way.
Specifically hunting.
It feels kind of
Feywild.
intimate.
Yeah,
a little-
hunting Feywild creatures.
I mean, like no judgment.
That's like really messed up.
I mean, like if you grab my teeth, I'd be pretty peeved.
Right? It's inappropriate.
Yeah, it's hella rude.
But you'd be shocked at how many people do it.
It feels weird saying that word in that accent.
Hella rude.
So they were hunting the Feywild creatures?
Yeah, someone.
There are more than
There's
that than
people from.
satyrs?
There's people from Eltz hunting Feywild creatures.
For their components.
For it seems like spell components, or maybe for a potion, I would assume. Or I mean, it would almost be worse if it was purely for decoration, but I guess that's a possibility.
Party question. What Feywild creatures, apparently satyrs, are common around here?
That wouldn't be.
Feywild creatures aren't common in the material plane. They're located in places that are exceptionally attuned with the Feywild.
I was gonna say this might be like a place where it's kind of thin.
Okay, like you could bleed over.
These are
Be
ancient
careful getting
woods.
lost in the bulwark.
These are ancient woods.
Right.
They say that there's a place near Jubilee that is also super thin, but I'm not supposed to wander into the woods, so
Stay on the path.
too much.
To echo your mom, you shouldn't wander in the woods because you might wander into another dimension.
Yeah, that's exactly how she said it.
Which mom?
Mom.
Both.
You know what? I'm easily pleased. Yeah!
Could start a collection and never use them.
Go ahead and give y'all a bicycle. Those are advantages you can use in the future. It's DM inspiration that we like to use.
We're pretty good about using them.
We should talk about where that came from on this week's footnotes.
We should talk about where it came from on this.
Great.
episode.
We're having Jake, right?
Jake.
It'll be great.
You can learn.
What time check real quick? Sorry, I've got
8:15.
8:50?
15.
15, perfect. That's where I want us to be.
Awesome. But yeah, I guess if we see people doing that, we're going to hunt them down for committing atrocities.
Okay.
Shouldn't we?
I suppose I might. I'm not involved in this, but I can't say. They got those spinny like goat horns.
Yeah.
I've seen them used for making folks. Well, like they sell them at some of the fighting pits to make you all big and strong, or make you more well.
Yeah.
Could I explain to these two and have them maybe tell you?
I think that's all you needed to. explain.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
some people need a little bit of help, and they say if you grind up the horns, but I wouldn't do that.
Help with what?
They grind?
Okay.
Kind of, it appears that this magical resource is used for various things like strength enhancement, but perhaps used in maybe a little bit skeevier ways as well.
I should burn the city to the ground.
Oh my god! You know what? Honestly, fuck Eltz. Let's
You
get
know
out of
what? I
here.
want to live in the woods, actually.
So, we do need to register with the guild, right? We probably should register before we bring the card in and have everything be confiscated because it's now technically.
I want to clarify something.
They don't like.
No.
Is it-
Setting up what you would have gleaned was not, we're going to take things when you go and show up. Now, if you go to a guild house and say, this is Oswald's stuff, they might go, well, cool, then it's our stuff. But if you go into town and you're just traveling around, people aren't checking, there's not passes everywhere. If you open a store, if you are selling things,
Then we have
the
a problem.
merchant guild is like, hi, merchant, can I have our merchant guild money?
Oh, so what we do is we leave town to
Or
sell
an independent contractor.
That is the thing that you theoretically could do.
We could go back and forth. We didn't ruin our chances in Galavon by spending untold amounts of silverbacks. So we should. I keep accidentally doing it. Silverbacks. So
Silver bucks.
I'm sorry. It's a
I mean, they're bucks backed by silver. I can't judge you for that.
Eh.
I
But silverbacks. So we could theoretically go back and sell things there.
It's a holistic remedy. Real magic would work better.
It sounds
that a
like
dexterity
you
or a
feel very
strength check?
passionate that we should.
I
stop
feel very
Constitution.
strongly about the
Oh,
disposal of people who could do these sorts of things.
Disposal.
That's-
He was bleeding out, like helpless, scalped.
or my little buddy back in Eltz, he loves fairies. Sometimes they come over into the West End and just, well, they kind of like play pranks and stuff. It's harmless fun, but like they're all like really nice. Sometimes they'll make your food taste weird, but like then it's just exciting.
Yeah, but Gwynwyn
Not
does
to
that
eat 'em,
too,
but,
and
like,
we still keep her around.
They'll sprinkle like weird little dust, and suddenly your pie will taste like, I don't know, it'll be salty, or it'll be something weird, or you'll open it up and your pants are inside.
Free pants.
They're just kind of weird. I don't know. Little Miles likes them.
Sophie's little brother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about her last time.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, you know that Adon and Sophia are friends, and that she has a little brother.
Yeah, do you
Miles.
want to show us where in the woods this was?
You could mark this. This has been by this point you've traveled like a third of the way through the bulwark, and
Yeah.
so you're talking about like being 5 or so miles in, because we're talking about 15-ish to 20 miles of forest width-wise. Now it goes very far north-south. The bulwark has been
You said he was
Very
hit by arrows. Were there any around him? Something we could have picked up and checked out?
Yeah, I could go back and get them.
You guys want to give me an extra hour to go do that? I'd be happy for it.
Up to y'all, it might be a goose chase, but if they
Might-
shot an
yeah,
arrow,
I
we
mean-
might be able to use it to find them later.
I didn't think to
Yeah.
pick them up. I should have. Yeah.
Now, Jake, as you guys head back, you take a little bit of time looking around. Now, you just got a bicycle, so I'm not giving you another one, but you do find a strange set of yellow fletched arrows.
Yellow flesh?
Fletch?
Fletch.
The
Fletch.
fletching? Oh, no. The fletching on the back. Now, there's only 2 arrows here that you found. Unless you kind of look over, if you would like to give me a big investigation check, some more time and look in the area. Satyr, you saw how fast the satyr moved. If it was running while it was wounded, it could have run very far. You get the impression the satyr was about as fast as you will expeditious retreating. Maybe a little slower than that, but is magically fast compared to an average person.
Adon, do you happen to recognize these? It's not Eltzian colors.
Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Kind of looks over this. You know, I don't, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't really go looking for hunters. There's a lot of mercenaries out there, and technically speaking, as long as we're hired on by a guild or a noble to do some task, we can do most whatever. And so if you wanted someone to go hunt magic monsters, it'd probably be easier to hire a merc than like a hunter.
Okay.
They're
Joseph,
not-
do you recognize any of these? Is this
Oh,
anyone for you?
not really. I'm sorry to say I don't really know much about that.
Adon, if you had to
they're
buy a
not
weapon
monsters.
in Eltz, what store would you have gone to?
Oh, I actually, most of my gear, he kind of reaches over, grabs his pouch. Most of my gear is actually brought out by my boss, and he actually gets what I need for my stuff. All except, I actually got like this gift a long time ago from Sophia. And he reaches in to his backpack and pulls out. Now, it's a one-handed war hammer. It's a little bit shorter than you'd expect for someone, smaller than you expect for someone his size. But so holding it in his hand, it's this big from, toe to tip, but it's made of a very clean, polished green metal. And as he hefts it out, you do see this big strain in his hands. It's smaller, but appears to be quite heavy.
Hammer
of the
Bros.
gear, because he like
Hammer Bros. Wait, Tink? Tink! I'm gonna love playing this guy.
He opened up his gear bag. Does he carry any two-handed weapons?
He does not.
Cool.
It does not appear that.
yes.
And additionally, his wound is very much scarred over. It appears whatever happened probably happened a while ago.
Okay. Cool.
None of you brought it up, and he's just been like you can see he's been normal. You saw he actually helped Yosef actually set up the horses, setting up the straps. It appears that he's
Used to the balance.
more than well. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
happy to.
So it didn't like happen recently.
Like, didn't happen in
Yeah.
the cave.
You would
Yeah,
assume
that's what I was-
it
that's
couldn't
kinda what-
possibly, with your medicine check rolling it over from earlier today, couldn't possibly have happened in the last 6 months.
Okay.
This is a person who's fully comfortable with, hey, he only has one hand and he works with it just fine.
Or Phantom Lynn trying to pick up a cup without the hand.
It is a thing you'd see with a lot of folks, so yeah.
Someone with a mage hand, that sounds kind of familiar.
Oop.
Wait.
But I have
where's-
both.
Sorry, my repeat broke.
No, I sent it. But yeah, I think we can just be on the lookout.
Yeah, how many? You said 3?
Dawn, you wouldn't.
There's the arrows, there are 2 arrows.
2. Sorry.
Dawn,
They're not magic.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I just kind of wanted to see if we split up. We take one each.
You seem like a nice dude. You wouldn't
Oh,
pick
thanks.
up a job like this, right?
No, like I said, my little buddy is like a huge fan. Most of my work involves so I did, okay, cards on the table. I did actually just have this job down in Galeport, but I actually was kind of hired as a sort of negotiator. See, now you know what a Triton is?
Yeah.
Sort of like, they're kind of like these like fish folks. They got big gills and they had these really sick seashell kind of like jewelry and stuff. Well, anyways, they kind of were, there was some people showing up and they were raiding the villages over near Galeport. And I had to be like a sort of a negotiator. Okay, sometimes the negotiating involves bonking people, but like everybody needs it every once in a while.
Does he literally say bonk?
Yeah.
So
No, like,
With the hammer?
yeah. Well, so sometimes, I'll admit, I'm a mercenary. There are people I've had to fight, and as he kind of goes on, he kind of explains, so in Galeport, his mission was to stop a series of attacks. Now, some of that was like, an attack was happening, and he'd fight people until they retreated. Then he
And it was Tritons.
went diving and went talking with Tritons. They weren't very powerful. They're just like guys who can swim real well and breathe underwater. But he ended up figuring out what was going on. Honestly, apparently it was about food. They were having some sort of problem. They've been raiding the groves. They grow a lot of fruit on the coast.
Huh. Oranges?
A lot of apples and like big berry bushes and all that kind of stuff.
Have you
So
heard
it's
about
not Florida.
But honestly, my job ended up being making a trade deal. So like, I guess I'm kind of a merchant.
Nice.
True.
We may need to lean
Don't
on
tell the
your-
guild.
Oh God, no. But as he kind of explains, he doesn't really take jobs that are. You now you're kind of asking someone, hey, are you a murderer? But the way he kind of explains it, he does a lot of work. His work is normally bodyguards and finding missing people or kind of conflict resolution. Not much as a mediator, but like as a I'm gonna bonk everyone until you talk.
Sure.
This guy doesn't seem super bright. Yes,
First-
yes, bonk.
The people who hire him most likely are the ones that hired the
Right.
Satyr Shotter.
No,
No, I mean,
that's like
there's
the opposite of what
many-
I'm
there's
saying.
there's many-
He doesn't really take on jobs that do.
I'm saying his boss wouldn't be the same person we're looking for.
Oh,
Maybe.
probably not.
Yes,
Maybe.
Yeah.
that's
Also,
fine.
my boss actually just takes contracts from like the nobles and stuff in town. We don't really work for one person.
That makes sense.
We don't. To be honest, our guild's kind of had some. My band's kind of had some problems. We keep kind of getting folks sniped from to other mercenary bands. So we're kind of. I say we. It's just like my boss and I at this point. But we did have some new recruits coming in, but I've been gone for a while. And the last 2 times I left, I came back to just being the only mercenary. But hey, that's why we are who we are.
What's your boss's name? And maybe your mercenary guild as well.
Well, we're the Defiant Smiles.
Yes.
We're supposed to join a merchant guild, not a mercenary guild.
Well, hey, I mean, if you all looking for work, you guys all seem pretty tough. When you took down that Mezzaloff was righteous. Well, my boss's name is Brask. He's a great guy.
Brass.
And, well, if I'm being honest, he's kind of a little bit of a pencil pusher, but he's the guy with the badge.
I had a question for you. Would it be possible to take on work without becoming official members?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a mercenary. Like, I'm actually part of the guild. But you can, of course, have people hired on to do jobs. You just have to have someone like approve that is part of the guild, and there's like fees and stuff. But
So, like, if, say, we come into town, we're looking for work, and we've built up such a great rapport together.
I mean,
You've seen us in action.
I can introduce you if you're looking for work. Yeah, I mean, there's always stuff going on.
Are you suggesting that one of us would have to become part of the guild of mercenaries in general?
No, like I'd love to introduce you to Brask, and if he had missions, we could take, we could work together a little bit.
Awesome.
Sounds good to us.
Bless it all.
Jobs.
Jobs.
Like I said, if you're not part of the guild, the pay is a little worse. I'll admit.
That's fine.
Apparently, we have no pay. So.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be an improvement
Yes.
for us.
I'm pretty excited to be honest. Gonna go get some coin, get my payout.
Oh yeah, except for
don't pay.
you guys are paid by yourselves.
I pay him, and I pay Yosef.
Oh,
Why don't you pay us?
Oh, I heard it was better for us to discuss wages. How much are you making?
I start pulling out my hammer.
All
I roll
right.
an intimidation check.
Yosef fails. Mr. Brims is not a very brave man.
I
I'll-
would never intimidate
I'll
Yosef.
Telepathic speech
Yes,
with him,
of
say,
course.
we'll talk about it later.
Unionize. Union.
All right.
You have different skill sets, though. It's not the same job.
You have to.
I might have higher.
You get commission, he doesn't.
And as we continue along, the 7 of you finally begin to see the light. The light kind of at the end of the tunnel here. So the canopy of the tree breaks apart a little bit. You can see the sun itself has now descended a fair bit. It's probably 3 in the afternoon, ballpark. So it's, you've been traveling since early in the morning. And as the trees start becoming a little bit smaller, no longer the grandiose elven woods you saw before, but much younger trees, the trees break. And for the first time, you gaze upon the outer wall of the city of Eltz. Coming up from the tree line, it looks like you still probably get about, let's say, half mile before you hit the beginning of civilization here. But as that civilization begins, you start seeing small farm, a couple of small cottages, a row of structures, and then pushing outwards, you start to see the start of this settlement. It looks like this massive outer wall of Eltz, probably 4 stories, this huge outer western wall. There actually is a small settlement here outside of what appears to be a massive gate. Even from here, you do see the 2 turrets that flank either side of the gate, these huge stone cylindrical buildings. You're a bit far out, but you would assume there's some folks patrolling the top of that, little windows and all sorts of traps for those who may come to invade. But there is a small settlement just outside of here in Eltz. Kind of going up, Adon kind of excited. It's like, oh yeah, I should have said this before, but welcome to Eltz.
Nice.
Made it.
Is it weird to say I kind of thought it would be, like, shorter? Like, I honestly thought the gate would be smaller.
It's massive.
It's really big, yeah.
And
This is a big
It's a big city.
taking a brief moment, can you roll me a d20? For those of you who are new,
D20 of the evening.
Clella, may I explain the thing?
Yes.
What'd you roll?
A 14.
A 14. Oh, perfect.
Do the thing.
Recently has begun to experience these strange, almost like dreams. Calling them nostalgia, Elle has been recalling strange events that haven't happened to her. She even has pictured aspects that don't fully align, such as having a thick, bushy beard, but most notably, these events have been occurring at or around the city of Eltz itself. And for a moment, as you're sitting here, you kind of let yourself. My cat is yelling behind the camera. Hearing the horse kind of going along the pavement, and a moment later, you're chilled. It's biting cold wind as you're riding on a black horse into the city. Some sleet, almost iced rain striking you in the face. Your beard stuffed in underneath your cloak. Here, as you're riding, you do realize it's not so grandiose as you may have thought beforehand. It's bushy and large, and you're taller than a Lillier in this moment. You're certainly someone else. This tall man riding on a horse towards the city.
Do I have any, am I just feeling it? Is it just a moment of feeling, or do I have any sort of control?
What are you thinking?
I just
Talk to me.
really want to reach into my pockets.
Ooh, this is fun. You know what? I don't want to roll it. Roll me a d20. This is fun.
I'm so mad.
Roll high.
What?
Connor needs a bottle cap. Or Connor needs a bicycle.
A 6.
Did
You
you
have a
say
bicycle.
6?
As you draw back,
Okay, no,
all you see as you pull this back is a strange dagger. And on the dagger, this curved black-handled dagger, there is a small leather cord that has been bound just near the hilt that dangles and has a small golden badge on it. The badge itself has an unmistakable marking of a long, gnarly staff with a crystal at the top. It appears to be some sort of golden badge of a staff. As you kind of look down, you're now looking at Elle's, slightly rougher than normal, palms. You need to moisturize more, girl.
It's not cold.
It is not cold. It's actually it's cool on this fall.
Sweetie, you brought lotion?
Yeah.
Of course she brought lotion.
It's expensive stuff.
She's
like a nice lotion. Oh my gosh.
Begin to moisten up. All right, as y'all begin
For the
to...
prop work.
Hey, you know.
Did you actually use it too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
It's nice. It smells like apples.
You all begin heading in towards the city. It is at this point you actually start seeing people going about their day. You're here in what is basically the entrance to the Gate District, just this westernmost point here within Eltz. You're still outside of the walls itself, so you haven't seen the city proper quite yet. But here, as you approach the turrets, you now can make out both near some guard stations and on the clothing that they wear, but also these two massive banners by the turrets of a flag, mostly red with a cross in the center, black first, and then an innermost thin line of gold. And emblazoned in front of it is a green plant. You've actually seen this plant before. It's sort of decreasing size from before. That plant you learned from that propaganda poster a couple sessions ago that actually was used for creating prismatic ink. It's on the flag. It's kind of billowing in the wind here. Awesome. Well, I gotta go check in with Brask, and then you know what? On the way, I'm actually gonna go stop at Sophie's place. I don't know what y'all's plans are, but
We don't know where to go where anything is.
I don't know what you're doing, but like, it's a big city. Once we get past the gate, you guys can kind of go. The world's your oyster.
Yeah, we kind of have some people we'd like to go meet up with in the West End.
Yeah.
Where would you suggest we stay if we're going to be spending some time in that area? Maybe nicer, but not like break the bank.
Let's see here.
Wait,
Kind of.
We plan to be here
a little
long
while. So
time.
somewhere we could
Well, we were also looking for Iris Perkins.
Well, actually, I'm not gonna have him roll for that. Oh, you'd have to go over to the East End for that? But I'll be honest, if y'all don't have a badge, you're gonna have a hard time getting over there.
What is?
Don't we have a message?
How do we get?
We do have a message.
We have a
for her.
signed message for her.
I mean, yeah,
Forgot about
Thank you, Amanda.
Session 2, though, so.
Yeah, I'm rolling.
How do we get
that.
through the checkpoint?
King's Prism.
Oh,
Iris.
they just
About
kind of gestures up over towards the west. The east of you is the west gate of Eltz. You can see that some folks there's a small queue of people who are just on foot, as well as wagons that are coming by. It just looks like a checkpoint that's checking for things like wanted individuals. You see a bounty board just checking for folks, as well as some of the guards who are coming through and just checking, kind of looking over briefly. It actually seems like it's at a brisk pace. People aren't stopping for more than like a minute with wagons, and people who are actually just walking. You just kind of see this one guard clad in red cloth, gambeson over his armor, is just waving people past. Doesn't look like things are too stressful here.
The bounty board. Is it on our way? Is
Yeah.
there anyone familiar looking on there?
Give it a quick look.
Your cat's attacking my foot.
Yeah, my cat is losing her mind.
She's
loves your
been
foot.
nutty this week.
All day.
That whole time you were talking, she was just like,
She was cuddling earlier.
Yeah.
My legs. She was
Well-
like, wrapped around them.
Yeah, I know. You are a Jazz.
She's been way more active in the past week.
We've had more people here lately. So as you take a quick look over the bounty board, roll an investigation check is what this would be.
I'm just wondering if someone's rival might be on here.
"You're right."
Yeah, it's investigation, just a flat 10.
There is one familiar, but only by name, face. And now, finally, things are becoming slightly clearer. A bounty is posted with the word Bustellus underneath. You see a hooded dwarven man, a lick of silver in his beard, but the face itself has been painted over in what looks to be it's grayscale here, so there's just like lighter color, but it appears that his face has been coated in some sort of ink, so most of his face is heavily obscured. And the bounty underneath does say 25,000 gold pieces.
1,000?
Never mind, I don't want to help. I want to get.
Did you say 1,000? Okay, not a merchant, not a mercenary, bounty hunters. I found
That would be
That
mercenary
would be
work.
mercenaries.
I've done.
subcategory.
Now it does specifically is requesting his arrest. So people do want him alive.
Yeah, I think we've been pretty good about that.
If you went up and looked it over, if you're Silas, are you going to look over and actually read the poster, or are you just going to let it pass?
I don't want to spend more than a minute, but I do want to glance it over.
Oh, you go over to look real quick. 10,000 gold pieces if you kill him and can bring the body.
Outside of him, what's the highest bounty?
Give me a sec.
I shouldn't know that.
It'd be
Are we
great.
gonna be bounty hunters?
Just
No,
start
but
taking
we're
all the
broke.
posters.
These are assignments, right?
Yeah. These are
Broke
takesies,
right now.
right? You can take.
Here's a take
Yeah,
one.
these are leave
There
behinds,
is
right?
another significant bounty up for 1,600 gold pieces.
Is it Jared?
It is for. It looks to be some sort of orcish man. You see, he has a you see this kind of angry, like it looks a little bit comical. You're not sure how accurate the poster is, but the name is Holg, Holg. Oh, did I bump us?
Yeah.
No. There we are.
Hopefully that wasn't for too long.
Hopefully that wasn't for too long.
Sorry about that. I didn't see it. I didn't see it on here. My apologies.
I just got it out of the corner of my eye.
Whew, hope that wasn't for too
boy.
long.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that, everybody. Technical issues can happen. Looking at this Holg, it looks like kind of reading over. There's a series of crimes. Looking through Holg,
H-O.
Hold with a G.
Great.
The crimes include not just like it looks like it starts off pretty soft. It's like thievery, defying of guild codes, murder. Kind of reading through this, it appears that Holg is looks like some sort of bruiser or enforcer. Doesn't say who he's working for or anything, but it looks like this is a goon for hire. But it does behind him have these two stylized curved blades that are grabbed by the center. They're both like double-ended blades, some sort of strange orcish weapon, perhaps.
Stylist. I'll be honest. I don't know much decorum. I just start taking it off the board. Packs it in the
Love
pocket.
it so much.
One of the guard who's kind of marching over towards the wagon looks at you, kind of squints, goes back. All right, please stop the carriage for just a moment.
Sure.
All right. Any guild members among you? Kind of looks over up at Adon, nods, inspects the badge, takes a note on his clipboard. You're good. All right. Are any of you Eltzian citizens?
No, we're not.
No,
You gonna lie about it?
I'm not.
Well, you're from Dunsmith, which is part
Or
of Eltz.
Oh.
Do you want to keep that secret?
How am I gonna prove that?
No, I'm asking you, are you keeping it secret?
I'll say yes, but like
Name and home of origin?
Thorne, Dunsmith.
I'm ready for both.
Eltz,
Thorne.
not even pretending to be like.
Family name?
Thorne is the family name.
Oh, your given name then.
Laurentius.
Laurentius. We haven't had many from Dunsmith lately. Welcome to the big city. Now, for the rest of you, have all of you been to the great capital before?
I have not. No, I'm very excited to get to travel here.
Any good touristy spots to see?
Give me a persuasion or deception check, excuse me, as we go through this. Well, then I suppose you'll need to know about the 4 pillars that both adorn our flag and keep our society on top of Gren civilization. The black color of our flag represents our determination. The red, our courage.
Oh yes, I need to write this down.
The green, our hope. The plant is green. And of course, the gold is the prosperity. So during your time here, I hope that you will do all that you can as guests in our humble city to uphold these 4 tenets.
Black, red, green, gold.
Yes,
Yeah.
determination, courage, hope, and prosperity.
How recited does this feel?
This guy's really just wanting to get through this. He's kind of been, this whole time he's been talking, he's just glancing over your cart. Things look pretty calm.
14 deception.
Doesn't catch the fact that you're kind of being fake. Doesn't seem like. If you have any questions, please ask them before heading into the gate. As guards who you'll encounter inside the city generally are on patrol, and my time is paid explicitly to talk to those who enter the city. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was just waving.
Any good places to spend the night? Places you recommend?
Do you have a budget?
Cheaper is better.
Well, if the cheapest thing you're gonna want, if very cheap is what you're looking for, you could head down to the Weeds, over in the southern area, over in the southeast. Kind of gestures over. Now that you're kind of at the gate, it's kind of still hard to see into the city until you've kind of pushed forward. But for a brief moment, he does take a few steps over and show you a general layout of the city. Looking at Eltz, it appears that the city is primarily 4 main bureaus. There is the west end. You can kind of see that Eltz itself is located at the intersection of this one river that heads from northeast all the way out to sea, the King's Playground being the sea just to the south. The 4 areas, kind of north, south, east, west. There's the north end, which is labeled here as Old Town. There are the west end and the east end, located on the western and eastern banks of the area. In addition, located sort of straight in the middle of the Wanara River is a large solitary island, Shelt. Now, it looks like over here that the different areas are connected by various bridges that have gone through here. Kind of shows you the weeds themselves are located in the west end towards the southern bit, over near the docks.
The weeds are not in the southeast, but in the west?
Here in the west end.
They're the southeast of the west end.
Oh. Southeast. Oh.
Oh no! Luckily,
Got
when
lost.
we're playing here, to both in the future you'll have an actual physical map for it.
And-
Making a sneak peek of that this week on Footnotes. But also there, you're able to just describe where you're wanting to go in terms of locations.
Just kind of central.
Shelt is the big island. There's 4 main areas: the west end, the east end, Old Town, and Shelt.
Where
Shelt.
was it?
I'm just going to tell you now. SCHELDT.
I misspelled it.
It's Shelt.
I cheated on this one. I saw the spelling of it.
EL.
Yeah.
Is there a D in there?
ELDT.
I totally misspelled that.
Surprised it's not TZ at the end, honestly.
S-E-
Right. Throwing more silent letters.
Oh, you spelling monsters! Get out of here. It's
I
fine.
can't spell
So,
anything.
At the end of this campaign is going to be a spelling bee. So.
I
looking
spelled
over.
my familiar's name wrong.
But to be honest, the weeds are it's a bit rough. We send as many patrols down as we can, but it's hard to keep things in line.
It's still good to know, maybe in that case, where
Just
to
told us they
avoid.
don't police it.
Yes, if you're looking for something a bit nicer, you could head over. Pirewood Row has some decent places. The Arches is quite nice, and well, he kind of thinks for a moment, looks you over. Well, that's where I would say to go for somewhere nice.
Judgment.
Does the West End have a library?
Yes, there are a few places of learning. I'm
they
not
publicly
terribly familiar with any public libraries necessarily, but you could ask around town. Unfortunately, that's a little less what I'm personally interested in.
Well, we appreciate all of your information. Anybody else?
God, you're so thick with sarcasm today.
to the west end.
Can't
then?
handle.
Yeah, to the West
week,
End!
Which direction to the Merchant Guild if we had to find ourselves there?
Could you perhaps point?
Oh, if you're looking to talk to some honest, kind of gestures over. Here in the Gate District, head just down this way, pass by that blue sign, hang a right. Kind of gestures over, very close within the Western District.
Excuse me.
Stop by there.
Do they call merchants honest?
Well, they're the Union of Honest Merchants. It's a shorthand.
Honest men, really.
Wait.
The honest merchant.
Oh, there's some things that are gonna stress you out.
I'm stressed.
Their initials are Union of Honest Merchants.
UHM.
Why? So mad
They
right
should
now.
call them the ums. I'm calling you an
I'm gonna fight you.
Well, and check the time for me. I believe we're about at 9.
47.
47. We're gonna break just a little bit early today.
Awesome.
So that when we come back from today's break, just a few minutes here, we'll be able to enter the Grand City for the first time. Thank you so much, everyone who's been watching so far. We'll see you after the break. And hey, if you haven't yet, we'd love it if you'd click the follow or if you'd follow or subscribe. Those of you who are supporting us, we really appreciate it as it helps us have this wonderful set and continue to grow out the channel. We've got lots of exciting things planned. We'll see you just in a minute.
Bye.
Bye for now.
For now.
For now. We'll be back.
Yes, we're coming back. Stay there. Welcome back, everyone. Just before the break, you all joined us as the party traveled back over to the great city of Eltz. I'm so excited. We're finally going to pass through the gates and see the city proper. Go ahead and turn on these cameras. Welcome back, y'all.
Howdy.
Unfortunately, we did lose a player. Rest
We
in
murdered
peace.
him.
Rest in peace, Jake. You had bad opinions and were even worse at Smash Brothers. He's allowed to hear that once he hears the recording. It's fine. No, love you to death. All right. Okay. Now, is there anything else you wanted to ask this dear guard as you're kind of waiting around?
No,
I think
but
Also, hi, Coco.
Coco wanted to die in her mouth really bad.
Oh, she's so very cute and so very dumb.
Yeah, I thought she was about to have a snack up here. Not a good thing.
All right. Anything else from the guard?
No.
No.
All right.
Guard,
No, I'm done
but
with
Winry
him.
has to.
You know, guys, my uncle lives in the West End. We can stay with him. Possibly.
Your uncle lives here?
I can't believe you kept this a secret so long.
I'm so proud of you.
Okay, but if
You owe
can
me a
keep
new secret now. Everyone knows about Dunsmith.
How do you keep
That
a
was
secret
meta.
from me?
No, we.
Oh,
they
that
had-
he's physically from the specific
They
place.
had,
Yes,
no,
yes.
we have a thing where he said he would keep giving me secrets.
You gotta be careful saying we have a thing. There are shippers in the audience.
You wouldn't
There are
put the two
shippers.
half elves together.
How
I-
dare you?
I don't. Do you think we have any control of who people ship?
No, not at all.
I'm
And
so
we-
sorry.
we
It's
have
so
the
far
least amount of
beyond.
control.
My power is unlimited, but I have no interest in policing this. So go wild.
You guys started shipping me session 1
You met a cute bard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's your
with the
fault.
first
It was-
named NPC.
It might have been 6 minutes into the first session.
It was really
It was
bad.
so early that you started being shipped.
I mean, you wrote her a letter, so.
Whiplash.
Well, so just to give you a little bit, I'm gonna paint a little bit of a verbal picture for you. Where you are now, this sort of outer settlement just outside of the wall, is actually in a sort of divot, like a cup shape that is kind of pushing into the wall itself. As you kind of push past this, walking along with your cart here, who's driving the cart?
Joseph.
Yes.
And me,
Who's driving the cart?
Yosef.
Good to know.
Oh, shoot.
Yosef,
We gotta get a card right.
over the next few minutes, you realize he's a little bit nervous here, kind of going through the streets. Get sometimes narrow, sometimes wide. You emerge in Eltz. And one of the first things that kind of takes you is that where you are might be one of the highest points in the city, as the open courtyard on the other side here within Eltz burst off into 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10 different roads as it kind of angles down, spreading out in a spider-like pattern, pushing out into the West End. The West End extends far from the north to the south where it meets the sea. Kind of looking around. I want perception checks from everybody as you kind of look. The stones themselves, certain roads are actually paved in different styles. Some of them with this kind of smooth paved white stone you're used to. Others actually imbued with kind of have these small tracks of like blue. One of them has a small blue line that tracks down the middle, another red, one of them alternating between different triangular and square stones, seemingly markers to different different locations. Sort of like an IKEA, if you will. Yep, we're 20 seconds in and I've compared Eltz to an IKEA. Perception checks, anything above a 20? Anything above a 15?
Ouch.
Anything above a 10?
13.
Nope, never mind.
I got a 13.
So there's a few things I want to tell you. So as you're looking here,
Wow.
kind of,
Oh
you're
my
looking at
gosh,
this
guys.
massive city from its westernmost point, and as you do, you can see that looking over towards the north, the entire city on its outermost points is surrounded by a similar massive wall. Looking over to the north, you do see a smaller but relatively large section that has another smaller interior wall, but the structures inside are all massive. You see small castles, manors, villas, a beautiful, incredibly ornate set of structures up to the north. Pushing past that, you look to see there's some massive buildings. Some of these structures are bigger than anything you've seen before. Looking further past, you see another nice kind of area with these beautiful stone structures, probably about 3 stories tall, that cover over pathways. They're massive stone arches that actually line what looks to be a collection of markets and larger buildings. Passing along, going even further, you see that the density of Eltz ebbs and flows in terms of these big buildings. Further over on the inner coast, you can see what looks to be this beautiful, sparkling, shiny bay. The bay itself separates the West End from the rest of the city, with one major bridge that you can see is intact, leading towards Shelt, that island I saw before. But here, even with that low perception check, you do see there is another bridge to Shelt, massive. It probably, like, even from here you can tell, because you're a couple of miles from this, it's probably over 100 feet wide. not long, but wide.
That's huge.
That has been it looks like it's almost been shattered, and has one massive section in the middle of the river, in the middle of the bay connecting to the sea. That looks to be an actual structure has been built around the center of the bridge, but the two ends of the bridge have broken off and are fully distinct from the actual bridge itself. As a reminder, you do have two people who live in Eltz with you, so if you have questions, you do have folks to ask. Just be particular who you're asking.
Don, what's up with the bit? Did something happen to the bridge, or?
Oh, well,
I'm sorry, I'm very curious.
not so much happened. They tried to build this really big bridge over to Shelt, and there were some sort of problems a few years back. And, well, I say a few years back, it was a while ago. I was kind of a kid. And anyways, they ended up kind of sacking the whole thing, turning the middle into a big old prison.
Oh.
Yeah, if you kind of look, he kind of points out, and where between the West End and Shelt is actually this very thick delta. There are a series of small, hard to call them islands, almost like sand dunes rising up out of the crystalline blue water that kind of dots the area around. Some of them are dense enough where you imagine the water's not super deep and it might be difficult to push ships through. But in the center, there is, now that you're looking at it, it is still very clearly, it's got the familiar underside arches and flat top. It was a bridge at one point, but is now this massive ironclad structure in the center of the water.
I'm assuming this prison's not for just like your run-of-the-mill pickpocket.
I mean, you've got to like really mess with the crown, or like, I don't know, be some sort of like war criminal. Sometimes we actually get people from other kingdoms who actually pay the king to put their prisoners in our jail. I've never put anyone away there, to be honest, though.
If people pay to have their prisoners put here, I guess that means no one's ever broken out.
No, I mean, like, it's a prison. I would guess someone's got to have broken out.
I mean, that would be pretty major.
Yeah.
Someone want to go get Jazz?
I'll go grab it.
Victoria, you mind opening the door so Jazz can come join us?
So, for those at home, it's just...
She's so quiet. She's very polite in her yelling.
She's making a beeline for Connor, I'm guessing.
Connor, she wants that leg.
Oh my
Jazz, do you want in Connor's lap?
Not a girl.
Connor, I think a cat is trying to come live with you.
Oh.
That's my baby.
She's a baby.
She just steps right in.
She likes to be picked up and then to jump out of your lap a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, kind of looking around, he kind of explains it is the husk of a failed bridge project that has now had a structure built around the upper section. Trying to escape would be kind of difficult as you'd be, a mile away from shore in either direction.
Yeah.
Running water is not good for magic.
Half mile, but
You can track people across running water too, so if
Very
you
hard
want
to
to track someone to the bridge. I mean, that's meta, I'm sorry.
also, well, so getting, it's also not, that's higher level magic.
That's something, that's
Yeah.
a Clella comment, I'm sorry. It's
But
not-
the kind of looking at it, I mean, you'd be pretty exposed if you physically escaped from this prison. Like the most exposed you could be. Just water and sand.
So this isn't a prison break campaign.
This is
we're,
not a
we're
heist
very
yet.
much like not criminals.
We'd be so bad at that.
We would be so bad at criminals.
All right, everyone, make your stealth and subtlety rolls.
Yeah,
Now, kind of looking around.
Pick this lock.
I kind of want to go and stop by. I gotta go stop by Sophia's place. She lives just a few blocks away. Is that all right with you guys?
Sure. Do you mind
want
if
us
we
to wear
Can we
that?
say hi to her? Because we told her that.
Yeah. No, she's like the coolest chick. She's the best.
Please, let's bring 3 of your NPCs into the same room.
Honestly, you all just came here to watch me talk to myself, and I kind of
basically.
appreciate that.
Would I know where my uncle's shop is?
Give me. Okay,
Do you
so
have a basement?
I can't give you this as a history. It's an intelligence check.
Ouch.
You got this.
So we all roll if we know Thorne's uncle.
Not bad.
That's really nice.
Just straight intelligence?
I'll tell you this. DC 11.
Oh, okay. 17.
Did you roll a 19?
Rickert lives in the weeds, specifically somewhere known as Orvin Way.
Orvin Way. Can I ask Adon where that's at? Where's Orvin Way?
Before Gadon kind of seems confused, but actually Yosef, the much poorer of the two. That's actually not too far from Pirewood Row. I can take you
That's
over
where
there.
we'll be staying.
Don't know where these places are.
No,
We'll
I can
figure it
take you. Wait, it's all right. I'll be happy to take you that way.
Okay.
So what is the plan? Yosef actually kind of seems pretty excited to get to go home. He hasn't been home in quite some time.
Can I have Yosef take me and you guys can go to Sophia's and then maybe
Well, I don't think we're gonna be there long at Sophia's, so.
meet me at
Do you-
my, I just don't think it would be
Okay.
cool to bring like
Yeah, let's
4 other people to my uncle's.
Let's
You want to go check in with
decide-
your? Yeah, if the
Yeah.
party's fine with it, I'm okay.
Yosef, what's the name of the tavern on Pirewood Row?
You want to go head on over to the Daring Duelist?
The Daring Duelist.
Oh.
That's where we'll meet back up.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
It's my favorite thing to say.
Hey, Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean this in an insensitive way. But is this an uncle on your drow or human side?
Thank you for asking.
What?
I didn't want to.
I just want to know whether to bring a traditional elven gift or a traditional human gift. The
It's-
4 Eltz, I guess, which would be different.
Guys, wait. Before you answer, I want to know what you think in a traditional human gift
I know,
is.
right? I'm over here like,
Tell me more about human culture.
It's milk.
Well, I don't really know about Eltz specifically, but if we were in Issel, I would definitely bring some nice Caldish wine. If I had some, which I don't because I'm not at home, but it's fine.
Isn't
I
that?
will find a substitute.
Caldish wine. Adon just. Oh,
But I don't
Oh.
have any, on hand.
I didn't know you had like that kind of money. Maybe you guys should come to the if you guys need some
No,
work.
no, I'm
The
broke.
Defiant Smiles. We're in the the Gate District.
Let me
We
do
could
the rich kid
absolutely.
thing. Let me do the rich kid thing. I'm not rich. My parents are rich.
Well, are your parents nearby?
No, and they will never come here.
Oh,
we're having one of those,
We hope.
like,
Wait, why won't they come?
it's one of those youthful experience things where you go out into the world, you see new things. It's supposed to be a way to
I'm supposed to
grow.
do it
Yeah,
independently.
it's a
really
northern
important.
tradition of sending your children out to kind of like get life experience under their belt. It's why
It
we're
was
both
like a
out.
journey.
Can
when
I-
you turn of
Huh,
a certain
that's not the
age.
rock.
Can I do an
Empire's
insight check
method.
to see if they're lying? I feel like they're
so
lying.
as always, when we do opposed rolls to each other, go ahead and roll deception.
Do I get any?
Both of us roll?
I'm actually gonna. So because this is how we're doing this, I'm gonna ask you to roll independently on this.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. I almost
hope
knocked
you
it over
roll
your die.
well.
I got a 19.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to ask what sort of information. Now you can
If you
just
want to
say
write it on a
nothing.
piece of paper, that's fine.
What? No. What do you feel
Let me
comfortable?
write my life story out.
No,
No, not even that.
because it's not mine. He's not reading your mind. Do you have any what would you like to say that he's gleaned off of what you've said with that roll? You don't have to say anything.
I'm making this up 100% off the cuff.
Okay.
100% off the cuff.
Elle looks guilty. Extremely guilty.
Is there
Not-
any panic?
I'm not calling
A little
anything
bit.
out. I just was like, I don't think you're telling the truth.
It's like I
Okay.
kind of think you're all full of shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically.
cool. Just making
So
sure.
happy and honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is completely off the cuff.
I just like,
I actually would really like to get back to my home. So,
Yeah.
Thorne, you want to come with me?
yeah.
And
Kind of
we'll
hops
meet-
down.
Wait, I want to know the answer.
To what?
Is it uncle on your drow side or on the human side?
It's my uncle Rickard. My uncle Rickard Thorne. He's on my dad's side.
Oh, okay.
Human.
Thorne. The last
Human.
name would have helped.
You
Yes.
know,
Thorne.
Yeah.
Rickard.
Rickard.
T.
Rickert.
So we can't bring a cart inside. Silas, can I want to stand back outside, watch the cart? Can I just people watch, see if there's anything?
Cart
going on?
inside of.
Oh, they're going to go talk to Sophia.
We can all go together.
We're going to Sophia.
They're splitting the
They're
party.
Going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Yosef.
I'm saying I'm going to stand outside of Sophia's house. With
Okay. They haven't gotten to Sophia. We'll talk about them in just a moment. All right. Thorne. Now we're gonna kind of do ABA for this. As you begin heading off, he actually is going to. The way that you're heading from here in the Gate District, you actually pass along Pirewood Row. Now, Pirewood Row it's nice. You would probably guess, like looking around, it's very clearly some like middle of the road. This is nicer than Dunsmith. As you're kind of passing through here, He points out the Daring Duelist, the tavern you'll be visiting a little bit later. You do see this massive structure, probably 5 stories, but the bigger thing is probably about 300, 400 feet wide, with dozens of windows pointing, just dotting the side of it. And as you're kind of looking over that, it's actually where Yosef is going to go ahead and point out, that's where I live, the Ekaton Stacks. They got nice apartments and, well, you know, we make things work. As you continue down Pirewood Row, passing through all sorts of, coves and alleys, there's, you encounter all sorts of different things. Primarily population-wise, you're seeing humans, orcs, and actually as you continue on your way over towards where your final destination is, over in the Weeds, you do see a large number of Dragonborn. These scaly, sort of reptilian folk with long tails, some of them with vibrant colors, some of them with scales reflective like steel. But eventually, you do notice a steep decline both in the number of large-scale buildings and in the general quality of the structures here. You do see the larger structures here tend to be one of 2 things. Large foundry or warehouse-style buildings with lots of workers loading and unloading various material, the sound of labor happening inside, or more of these sort of larger wood and stone apartment buildings. Many of them sharing in commonality these large chimneys that probably filter through multiple actual apartments themselves. It takes a little while before you reach Orvan Way. A little bit brighter of a spot than a lot of the Weeds, but as you kind of pass through, it looks like this is a small, this little side street, kind of narrow, too narrow to fit a cart, probably about 7 or 8 feet wide in total from structure to structure. These buildings overhanging, almost giving enough shade where you can reasonably stay entirely out of the light if you'd like to. Even though it's just early afternoon, here it always feels just a bit before, at best, a bit before dusk. As you begin navigating through, some people calling over, asking for your interest in their wares. An old woman peddling a strange necklace. You see, a couple of Dragonborn barking at you in Draconic, probably yelling at you, asking you questions. It takes a little while before you see a man resting, sitting in a rocking chair just in front of a small shop. He looks familiar, bearing a very similar nose to both you and your father. His sort of wide brim hat kind of tilted down just a little bit, obscuring the top portion of his face. Well conscious, because you can see he's rocking the chair just a little bit with lifting up the edge of his feet. He still seems to be awake, but resting. Now that we're there, let's go ahead and jump back to the rest of the party. All right, you all want to take a little bit of a trip, head on over to visit over at Sophia's place, the Relemnon house.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, the Relemnon house. Oh, it's a fun, I very much enjoy getting to say that word. At this point, Adon kind of gets a little bit impatient and is like walking fully 30 feet ahead of the cart. Guys, I'm so excited. You guys, you said you only saw Sophia the one time, right?
Yeah.
And she sent you after. That's just so much like Sophia. All right, come on. It takes a little while, but eventually you stop in front of, calling the side streets rough as it is, have good 20, 25 foot wide, well-paved streets.
So way more than an alley.
White paved stones that then turn into this orange, more angular brick that kind of give a sort of curb here. And there is a small wrought iron fence that's probably about 4 feet tall around the front yard here that leads to a small clay building. It's well made. Lots of the outside appears to have been painted. These vertical lines, not a mosaic, not really art, but it's nice. The way it kind of complements the actual home itself. There are different shades of what looks to be like a pale green that have been kind of contrasting with the more reddish natural color of the clay. And as Adon gets to the front, you see he kind of hooks his hand on top of the fence, leaps over, it's short, it's not difficult, and kind of bounds up Yeah, Gwynwyn, it's fully here. Or actually, sorry, it's fully here for you. Begins knocking on the door kind of excitedly.
Well, they might open the.
Right. I think we don't hop the fence. We're guests.
Guys, come on in. It's unlocked.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That was like a style choice. I get it. We just push it open. No boost needed.
Sounds good
Y'all
to
go,
me.
man. I'm staying outside.
We found a liability. We have to. boost
Silas, you're just gonna wait, kind of standing there, maybe pet check on the horses.
Maybe like a
Let's check on the
floating
horses.
disc
Are there
would
any
give you enough,
stands,
like-
stalls, anything like that around?
You're in a much more residential portion of the Western Gate District. If you want to take a little bit of a walk, you could maybe find something. But where you are here, you probably want to just wait.
Oh yeah, no, I'll wait. Can I pull out a pen and paper? I'm a little worried about Thorne getting lost here. I'd like to start drawing out a map.
Ooh, give me. This is actually going to be. Now you're proficient in your artist's tools.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to make me an intelligence check, but you add your proficiency. So it's an intelligence art check.
Okay.
Like, this is a thing about recalling information, using the angles you've seen, and begin working over here.
This dice-
Adon, boom, boom. Sophie! Hey! Guess who's here? Connie calling excitedly. I brought friends! Silence.
Is she normally
Boom,
home
boom, boom.
during this time of day?
Yeah, I mean, normally. Unless she's on assignment, but like. Miles! Little buddy! Dunk, dunk, dunk. Waits about 30 seconds. Not hear anything, kind of confused. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time. If y'all have to go, I'm just gonna wait for Sophie, see what's going on.
We can wait a few minutes. It looked like Thorne needed to go talk with his uncle, like, privately.
Which we are gonna meet up at the Daring Duelist, so
I mean-
we do have a location.
Are you concerned? Or is this like
No,
Okay.
are you kidding? Sophie's one of the most badass chicks I've ever met.
When we met Sophie, was she on patrol or was she leaving town?
She was just on patrol, but she kind of went further beyond her bounds. Sophie has an ability to actually fly, and so can cover
Yeah.
a lot of range. Is at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and say, as you're drawing here, are you sitting on the ground or are
yeah.
you standing?
I'm sitting on the ground right next to the cart. I'm a bit of a spectacle, to be honest.
We would have recommended it.
You hear a pair of tiny feet kind of walking up, and you're aware with your passive perception of a young boy kind of standing on his tippy toes looking over your shoulder. Mister, it doesn't go that way.
It doesn't? It just came this way, though.
Whoa! As you kind of turn, your tusks coming near this little bespectacled boy's face. Whoa!
Sorry, they're a little...
Whoa! No, it's okay. Yeah, no, the road actually it curves back northward at the end of that alley. Kind of points over.
This is a new city. It's kind of crazy here.
Oh.
How do you know that?
At this point, by the way, where he's standing, you are fully obscuring the party from him because
Oh my
this is
God.
probably a 10-year-old boy,
Yeah.
roughly.
It's not small.
Maybe 11. Like he's fully talking. Like he's
Yeah.
a little a little older than that kid you met back, way back when.
Don't treat him as a child. Okay.
But welcome. Eltz it's the greatest city on the plane.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I'm quite happy to be here. Are y'all okay?
Sorry, we had a moment.
I made it like this.
The place he lives is the best place ever.
All children say that.
Yeah, this kid has been saying the national anthem of Eltz every day at his
It's
little
the greatest
school.
place to live.
Yeah.
This kid lives in a Disney town. Like, you heard about the Disney towns where, like, people just, like, live and it's always pumping, like, Disney music out?
Hey man, we can't cut off any potential future sponsorships.
Okay, I'll stop.
Orlando is a great place.
All hail the mouse. Guys, all hail the mouse.
I'm not. No, sorry, I'm out.
God, sorry.
I like Disney.
Yeah, no, same. No, Disney's great. But as this little kid sings here, I'm Miles.
Well, I'm Silas. It's nice to meet you, Miles.
Hi, Silas. Why are you sitting in front of my house?
This is your house,
Well, it's my big sister's house, but like,
Sophia.
yeah. Do you know her?
Yeah, we actually just came here with Adon. You know Adon, right?
At this point, what? He kind of looks over, fully forgets you're here and starts sprinting. This little boy, so excited, kind of fumbling his like little hands, trying to undo the latch for the front gate, opens it up, kind of sees everybody. Hi, Adon. And at this point, you kind of see Adon, super excited, comes up, bounds, one arm swoops under the kid, picks him up, throws him up in the air, catches him, shoulder. Amazing. Guys, this is my little man right here. This is the coolest kid you will ever meet.
Miles, was it?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, hi.
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 Right,
Hi.
the coolest kid ever.
Oh.
Do you think honest?
I'm kind of cool, but Adon's the coolest guy.
Well, he's not a kid, is he?
He's not the
He's
not
10.
a kid.
So you win the coolest kid then, right?
I don't. If this one gets kind of small, Adon kind of like pats him, just kind of starts asking. You see, kind of distracts the kid, start asking like what he learned in his during his school day today, kind of listening to him or whatever. Oh my gosh, we were wrong cammed.
What?
What happened?
What's going on?
Sorry about
guys.
that.
This is why we need Alex
Yeah. Whew, I hope that wasn't.
for a year.
Wasn't for a while?
I hope not.
Chat, tell us.
Yeah.
How long were we gone?
So sorry.
Where were we going?
Whew. All right, we'll just keep going.
It's fine. It happens.
Alex did it in his
yeah.
his Jedi mind
So like 10
powers.
seconds. All right, thank you so much, both of you guys, for
Okay,
appreciating.
good. I
10
want
seconds, not too bad.
yeah.
Well,
For 10 seconds.
as he's kind of like,
Can make editing.
you can see the kid being called cool, kind of like mellows out just a little bit in his excitement, and then Adon kind of getting excited, talking about him. The kid, he puts him down. Miles actually pulls a small key out from a little leather band around his neck, a little necklace.
Oh, no.
Unlocks.
He's a latchkey kid.
He's got a key.
No, that's not what I'm worried about.
I'm so sorry that Sophia's not here to see you, Adon. I hope you didn't come for nothing. And just like, no, I actually came to introduce you. I actually met these awesome adventurers out on my journey, and they were just wanted to come and say hey. And kind of just starts introducing you one by one to this little kid, Miles. Starts apologizing. My sister's not here right now. She had to go and report for duty.
Oh, your sister told us to find Adon because you wanted to see Adon. So as far as we're concerned, we came here to see you.
He was just missing. That's all.
Well, he's not missing
Were
anymore.
you worried about him?
This kid gets very red.
He was in a sticky situation.
Adon, do you want to see my sister's one of her new spears? And then kind of goes on in. Adon kind of, I'm gonna go. The kid seems to be a little embarrassed. Maybe it was a little bit much.
Sorry.
Y'all are a lot.
You're also part of y'all, so.
I also haven't said anything since the child showed up.
Hey,
You don't talk to them.
He
Let
liked
them
my-
talk.
he liked my
Children are meant to be spoken to, and not
are meant-
only heard.
Children are meant to speak and
Or
not be
only
spoken
seen.
to.
This explains
Well,
a
I
lot.
misspoke, but no matter what, we both messed up.
Yeah. No, I'm being honest. Children are meant to speak and not be spoken to.
That's,
I have a degree in child
that explains so
psychology,
much
that's where I
about,
am right now.
like, so many summers. Huh.
You do have a couple of years, about 5 years, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
5 to 7 years on L, and so you've been you've been in that mentor role mentor babysitter role for a while now.
Wasn't long ago she was his age, right?
The entire summer when I was 11 and 12, you just let me talk the whole time.
Inside, you
As
just
I
hear
am
you hear
myself.
Miles calling out for Adon to come check it out. I'm gonna go hang out with the kiddo.
Right. Again, we're going to be staying at the Dashing Duelist because they have amazing stables, so we'll be there.
Yeah.
Daring Duelist. I wrote Dashing on
I
section 8
also have
notes.
dashing, I think.
I have devious duelist.
Let's agree to agree. What is it?
Agree to disagree.
I probably have just written it down wrong in multiple places.
Now, all right. Well, I'll catch you guys sometime soon. I'll let Sophie know, and she'll come find you. She probably, honestly, knowing her, she's gonna want to thank you. She's really, I can't say stuff, literally the best. Like, y'all are chill.
But she's the best.
Yeah.
If you want drinks, we'll be there some evenings.
At this point, you hear Miles one more time call Adon, and Adon gets real low. I'm gonna go get him, and just charges in to go check out the new spear and hang out with his little buddy.
Great.
Oh.
All right, heading out from there.
I'm in shock.
We ruined Elle's childhood.
I don't think we
You
were
said
the boss.
we.
Connor, do you want to go back to see what's going on over with you and Record?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kind of kick his chair.
You kind of step up to this small shop. The shop itself is probably no bigger than about 12 feet wide, built directly adjacent. The structures here are so... This whole place is a fire hazard. The building itself has a... what looks to be some graffiti has been put over, like, not even good graffiti, like someone poured paint on top of what looks to have been some sort of green image. You'd have to make some checks to figure out what was under here. But as you come over, Rickard's just not rocking.
Can I just step on one of the legs of his chair just to stop it from...
What's the big idea? Huh? These are nice shoes. Spent a lot of good coin. You scuffing them up? Awful rude, ain't you?
Are you Rickard, by chance?
Aye?
Rickard Thorne.
Yeah? This guy cannot roll. Kind of, as you say his last name, why? Who's asking?
I believe my dad was your brother.
You're Logan's boy.
Yeah,
Kind of stands up.
yeah, I am.
Oh my gosh. Your mother's not here, right?
I don't think so.
Then welcome. This man, he stands up. He's got this kind of brown tattered coat, keeping him a little bit warm here. You can see he's wearing a soft green shirt. And as he kind of big wide arms at you, he's a little chubby. He's got a little bit of a belly going on, a little bit excited. This older human man is, to call it salt and pepper is a little bit generous. It's not a great look going on his chin at the moment. But he's excited to see you. Where's your old man?
Do you maybe want to step inside and we can talk about it?
Yeah, of course. Kind of opens up the door, pushing it open. As he does, you hear a little ding, 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 as the bell on the front. Though it's only about 10 feet wide, you also see that the shop front itself is probably about 8 feet deep. And at the back, you see a small ladder that leads up to presumably a second level. As he comes inside, he's kind of looks around, grabs the small stool in the corner, sets it down for you. What?
Glasses? Do you have glasses for drink?
Yeah. He turns around, plucks 2 glasses off the shelf where you see there's a small selection of glassware. Kind of looking around, this is kind of a general store, maybe even a pawn shop. There's sort of kind of an odd mixture. You see some glassware, you see some silverware. It looks to be, there's actually a full set of these strange, bony, made of bone blacksmith tools. They're like things you need for various, just various tasks. Kind of looking around, it's a weird assortment of mostly junk as you're here. I actually have some drink.
I got something better. I'll pull out the dwarven whiskey
Ooh, that's really good stuff.
and pour him a glass, pour myself some, and
What's wrong, son?
Dad's dead. Dunsmith is a ghost town.
He takes a moment and you see there's this very real, there's a moment where there's some intense sorrow before he kind of turns, looking back up to you. Laurentius, I'm so sorry. I know your pa and I hadn't been together for a while, but he was always my brother, and I can't imagine I'm so sorry. You kind of keeps staggering, stuttering over his words. This man kind of split between getting to grieve for his brother and also being there for, oh God, how could this be affecting you? There's a very real like sense of empathy here in this man. Listen, there's room in my bunk for if we need if you need a place to stay while you're here in town. Are you going to be staying long or?
Yeah, I luckily found a group. They're good people, and one of them's taken me in as I have a job. So
good work's hard to come by.
I'm at least set there. The
Listen,
problem
is there anything you need? He kind of stands up, kind of starts. You see, he pushes over to the side. Some of the glasses begins looking over. You see, he pulls out what looks to be like a bedroll from behind. One of the glasses shatters on the ground. Shit. It's fall. It's gonna get. The winters here in Eltz are pretty cold. We might be close to the tropics and the water, but well, things get awful chilly. Please.
Thank you.
If there's anything you need, please. The Brambles, your family. This place is a place you can call home. It ain't much, but it's ours.
Do you know where my mother is?
Ooh. You pour some more whiskey. Your old man surprised the family when he brought back that traveler. What was her name? Something. Pildefell. Oh,
Priscilla?
yeah. Well, that a convenient way to. A little easier to say than the alphabets.
Okay.
But, well, your pa told you before he did, was working, slinging drinks. He did a bit of traveling. He apparently met her during some moonlight hullabaloo festival. He brought her back, and, well, not everyone back home was so accepting of, drow, and Ma and Pa never really approved. But, well, what I can say, I haven't seen her in a couple of years, but they did love each other very much. And when she did pass through the shop, she did talk about you fondly. You're much taller than when she last came by. How long has it been, Thorne, since you saw Priscilla?
I'd say probably like when I was 10.
It's been a long time. Based on what he's saying, he's seen her every couple of years, and then last time we saw her was probably a year or two ago.
Okay. Stay away from Dunsmith. I don't know what those creatures are, but
Creatures?
persuasive.
Well, I got too much debt in this place to be heading Dunsmith anytime soon, but I appreciate the advice. Well, kind of stops, and you see this man's really wrestling with this. If your friends are looking for anything, business at the shop's not been great, and I'd love to help them however I could.
I know one of them's gonna ask, do you have a basement?
Oh my god. Her legs.
Can I give Connor?
We have a cellar. It's a bit small. You see, he talks over to that corner. Again, this is basically one room and a room above. He moves to the stool from where you're sitting, lifts up, and you see this small, about 5x5 square with a small collection of. There's 3 bottles of wine. One's open and half. There's a small cellar with just a little bit of booze in it, and what looks to be a lockbox is actually contained underneath.
Does it look like we could fit in there?
It's mostly raw stone, but looking at this is just carved out by someone who was living here. Maybe him. It's limestone. It's very porous. You could sculpt right through this.
No, I mean, like, is it big enough for
A person?
Isme to do what she wants to do? Ismini, sorry.
It's meaty.
No, he said
Was that a Thornism or a Connor?
That's myself. Yeah.
Well, kind of looking at this, you'll have to talk to his meanie. Maybe come take her by. This is basically a 5-foot square.
Okay.
This is a place for a person to stand.
Sorry.
There's a lot of interesting ways to dig through limestone. Chemically. All right. We've talked about having you head over to the duelist, but is there anything else you want to do here?
No, I'll stop by Yosef's place on the way back just to see if he wants to come with us come with me to the daring duelist.
This is actually good. So Yosef actually lives very close to the duelist, and you're actually be arriving at about the same time as the rest of the party. I'm actually gonna have you arrive a little bit afterward, if that's okay. Is it mean?
Is Mimi
As
looking?
I mean, if we were,
Is Mimi's
The
over here
colons.
looking for a
You would be-
5-foot square?
Limestone, we have a chemist.
I'm not gonna ruin the
alchemist.
structural integrity of his shop.
I don't know transmute rock, unfortunately.
Y'all, as
I
you're
won't learn
heading
that for a long time.
as you're heading over to the daring duelist, navigating with some of the instructions given to you by Adon. Yes, Silas?
I have a question for Silas's actual character. He has the City Watcher feat.
Yeah.
Background.
Background. Yes.
That has the Watcher's Eye, which I was just reading on it. Basically, you can easily find local outposts or something similar for city guard, and for dens of criminal activity. In the
Yeah, if you wanted to. So that's basically when you're making typically investigation checks. I'm going to give you advantage when trying to find guard stations and criminals.
I'm gonna be looking for guard stations on the way there, but once we
They're pretty constant. What you do notice is that. Give me an investigation check. Actually, this is with advantage. A little gross. I love it.
It's gonna be investigation for a flat 19.
Flat 19. A couple things you notice. There are guard stations relatively frequently as you see people patrolling mainly red and black uniforms. What you do notice, and you even hear pretty far away in the distance every once in a while, is there are bell stations quite often. You've seen these before, where they're tall wooden, 2 wood posts, relatively tall, probably about 15 feet up, with a big brass bell with a rope attached, for people to ring. They're clearly for alerting guards, and it appears they're situated in such a way that they are between guard stations to make things a little bit easier. What I'll give you kind of retroactively is you did see quite a large barracks in the Gate District. That's the biggest one you've seen so far. Everything else has been smaller stations. Small in this instance is where like a squad or half squad would be, so 5 to 10 people would be stationed. There are thousands of people in the Eltzian military, which is what the Guard is part of, because this is an incredibly massive city. All right. But as you're heading out there, you all see Yosef carrying a small wooden crate, looking confused.
Where did you get the
Are you
crate?
are you alright?
You picked out of your house.
What is the crate?
Where'd you get a crate? Yeah.
I got evicted.
That's my business.
Yosef, buddy.
No.
Okay, well, we don't have anywhere to live either, so you can live with us.
We don't have anywhere to live.
Correct.
We're gonna stay
We'll
at
find it.
tavern tonight, and we'll figure out something in the morning.
I mean, we may end up staying in a tavern a little bit longer term.
It's just
we,
kind of expensive.
we may need to work out like
An
a.
apartment or
Well,
basement.
you could go back where I was living. Landlord's got more places, but
Why did you
I-
get evicted?
Landlord.
well, I had been gone for a while, and I'm a bit behind on my rent.
Oh,
Badly, buddy.
40 gold.
Ouch.
40 gold? Ooh,
How much is your rent?
Well, it's
How
not.
much? How much is rent?
There's all
actually?
sorts of. Well, because I hadn't paid, it kind of built up, and then when it built up, there were extra fees, and
Oh, that's how. How much is rent on average?
it's. Oh, I pay about 40. The new rate's 40 silver a month.
40 silver a month.
Wait, time out.
Writing it right underneath my bread prices. Thank
He
you.
worked for us for how long? He got 25 silver?
About a week. We get about a week.
Okay.
8 days.
So you're not paying him horrifically.
Well, no,
It's
rent
more-
was a fourth of his rent. Or of his
Yeah.
paycheck.
Yeah.
That's the math I'm doing.
It isn't bad IRL.
It is
Yeah,
not
IRL,
real.
like
No, you're paying him very well, and he lives in a cruddy apartment. It's called the Stacks because it's stacked up structures.
Right. Well, Yosef, you're part of the team now, so we'll all figure it out together.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, we're not.
I'm now so nervous we're
I
gonna
know.
just randomly be on a different screen.
Guys, no.
Is,
try to keep
hey,
I appreciate
everything
it.
all right with your uncle Thorne?
Yeah, he's great. His place is a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
But you
What's
said he
the-
owns.
We don't want to impose.
But he owns a shop. What kind of things does he sell there?
Does he have a merchant's badge?
I don't know how legal the stuff that he sells is.
You would have actually caught, and I do apologize for not mentioning this specifically. He was wearing a copper merchant's badge.
That's good news. We can purchase things from him to make sure that we're not, supporting the rest of this industry.
I mean, so sounds like we might need to find somewhere else to stay. That's
Well, I
better.
mean, we're
Somewhere
gonna
else to
stay. Yeah, we're gonna. We're gonna stay at the Daring Duelist for now until we figure out some more long-term plans. But I think staying in a tavern for a couple days isn't gonna be a problem.
Yes,
No.
maybe we
do
always
you-
have the option to pull some rank and try to get some nicer accommodations for cheaper. So,
What do you
I don't want to do that, but it's something we can
Should
do.
flex it?
What do you suppose we do from here? Obviously, we need a place to stay.
Yes.
After that,
The Daring Duelist, we're gonna go there. I say we've got a few options, and I think the most pressing is there was another incident similar to the one we experienced together.
Over in the West End.
Also, as a reminder, you have been traveling for about 9 hours today.
Right. So we
Right.
should be crashing.
We're getting very close to switching over to night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
so
so excited.
that's
I have a feeling this is the part of the city that comes alive at night.
that's why I
Yeah.
think we should go check in at the tavern, get our room for tonight, and tomorrow we'll deal with finding a place to live.
Tonight we'll do. I don't think we need to deal with that tomorrow. I think this is going to be temporary accommodations for a stretch of time.
Maybe like a week.
More important to me tonight would be as soon as possible we go out and start looking into what happened that was very similar to our experience together early on in our time of knowing each other that may or may not have involved a festival.
Why are you being secretive?
Yeah.
Because we're out in
Yosef
public.
is
When
do we fill Yosef in on this?
Yosef knows kind of what's going on.
Yes, if you're.
I'm happy to not listen, to be honest.
I mean, you can.
Oh, I'm not
listen,
worried about
just,
you listening.
Just don't blab to the to.
Yeah.
You pay me to pick up boxes, ride the cart, and not tell people what you do.
Great.
Sounds good.
So there was
Or our last names.
a murder.
I don't even remember, to be honest.
That's perfect.
Great.
Uh-huh.
You're so good at your job.
I'm real good at my job,
It
ain't
was-
I, Miss C?
Yeah, doing a great job there, buddy. Not sarcastic this time, though.
Yosef feels so accomplished while holding all of his earthly possessions.
I know. I feel really guilty right
Put
now.
them in the cart.
All right.
We definitely.
There is a small ficus, a little potted plant. It's very
not
dead.
dead?
It's
Oh.
very dead.
Wait. No, wait. It wouldn't help it come back to life, would it?
No, the sickle.
The
I don't-
sickle.
You take it and you throw it.
I just didn't know if it was gonna help.
Look, let's just get him a new plant and a place to live.
Right. Basically, there was another murder very similar to the one that we all lived through, and had to deal with while out of. And I want to investigate it before the trail goes cold there.
Yeah, no, and that was,
I think we do that
You know how long
I
ago?
wonder if there's
Tonight.
logs of recent visitors too, because our trail went cold on the way here, but we knew that whoever did it was ahead of us for a while.
Right. So, I mean, our biggest thing is, do we know exactly where it happened, or are we gonna have to kind of like snoop around
Well-
for that?
You know it was in the docks.
where were you guys stationed at with Orwin and all that? Where were you guys running around doing your stuff?
I always forget y'all were you
Yeah,
hung out
you
with
worked
them,
for
Joseph.
Orwin.
We adopted you so quickly.
So taking a few moments to think, well, you guys are looking for my old boss's boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know where he is, but I know that before we were working in Galavon, he kind of thinks for a moment, most of the work we did was over in the Barrows.
Is that where Demons Embraces?
Well, the demons, it's close. The Barrows and the docks are basically in the same sort of place. The Barrows, we've got all the warehouses and the workers and the wheelbarrows. The Devil's Embrace. Well, that's not a place for a lady, Miss Gwynwyn.
Ladies can do whatever they want.
I was thinking about
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sending Thorne.
He has a very immediate "please don't stab me" reaction.
I've never stabbed a person in my life,
I've seen you
tried.
stab people before.
but non-lethally. It's different.
You did have a really rough time when you met us, didn't you?
All right, yeah.
We didn't force you to tie up your friends. I mean, maybe they were just coworkers. I don't really know how close you were to them.
Is the plan to spend the evening at the Daring Duelist here?
Right. I think
Get
we passed time until the evening gathering
Do-
enough information about
Should
the
we
murder
do
to
some
go investigate.
schmoozing to get a decent price on the room?
We can schmooze.
I'll schmooze.
You
I
can
was about to say, aren't you going to offer your services to the bar so that we could get
Thor.
a
I can help out behind the bar. I could use a little extra cash.
All right, so you want to spend a bit of time
Thorn's getting a part-time job, and I love it. You're like,
Heading-
I can go adventuring tomorrow.
heading over.
I need my weekends off.
The Daring Duelist is... you are able to head over. You're in Pirewood Row, a relatively nice part of town. Everything seems pretty fine. It's a little nicer than like Coppersbeck. But as you're heading over into the tavern, this wide, very much redwood structure with these hanging oil lamps that kind of swing in the fall breeze, you open up the door and are instantly met with the sounds of merriment and excitement. But not just the sounds of people drinking and maybe playing card games or just generally, having a bit of fun and doing whatever you may do in a tavern. Instead, here the tables are situated. These small circular tables, each with 2 to 4 chairs at them, are situated around a massive, almost like a table-like structure, painted stark white, where you see people are clashing a pair of swords and are dueling on this long table, pushing back and forth.
I thought you were about to tell me that there were poker games. I'm so excited.
No.
I am more excited.
No. Okay, I know it said Daring Duelist. It's not, this kind of duel. It's not, they're not playing cards.
I'm looking for a
Silly you.
I've been looking for a poker game since session 1.
No, I've not found a way to integrate the phrase "my blue eyes white dragon" into a game of D&D, but I'm working on it.
I'll get you there.
You could get there easily.
Well, that's the figurine I carry around in my pocket.
But looking around, you do see what looks to be an elven man dueling with a human. Just a pair of these, they're relatively dulled swords, just pushing back and forth until, it looks like the human's pushing him back. The elven man's almost falling back before he begins muttering some words and shoots a mote of flame at the feet of the human, knocking him off balance and kicking the human off the side of the table. Sorry, Connor.
Is that legal?
He didn't hit him. He shot the ground.
Can I ask someone if that's legal? That's a good question.
Kind of
you
heading over,
looking to fight?
kind of pushing through some of the crowd of people. A lot of them standing up as the duel had gotten more intense. Kind of looking over.
See, well, did you do that?
Huh? Oh, you can do whatever you want in the duels.
How do you get in?
No.
Yes. Let
Yes.
her do it.
How do you get in? Let her do it.
Oh God.
Are we looking to
Oh dear, what was I thinking?
Yeah, how dare you?
Well, you got to talk to Octa at the bar, and you can do whatever you need.
Cool, thanks.
Oh, okay, bye.
Hey, guys.
Do we talk to you about a room?
Oh no, I'm just a random patron.
Oh.
I assume we talked to
Yeah,
Octa at the bar.
Octa's the lady in charge. Clella was like, I'll go speak to. I just want to go talk to someone, see how we can get in.
It's like grabs the person, like, is he allowed to do that? How do I do that? Cool, thank you.
You were asking for permission?
No, I'm just asking how to sign
I
up.
know how to be legal.
I'm just making sure I can do my magic.
Working at the bar, you see kind of a little annoyed as she's bossing around some of the folks that are. Don't say it. As she's bossing around some of the other folks here, you.
Oh, girl boss.
I didn't say it.
I have to tell you, I want to be honest. When it comes to some minor characters, I genuinely just roll for certain things.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a boy boss or a girl boss in this case. I don't have weighted dice.
May the dice be ever in my favor.
Well, you kind of said she looks like she's running the bar here. Octa is this you can see that she's this yellow, like kind of yellow transitioning into a gray in the kind of peripheral, like her ears and her fingers are more gray, tiefling woman. And she's kind of calling out to some of the other servers who are going on here. Yeah, what can I get you?
Oh, I think I'm supposed to. Thorne, do you want to ask your thing?
Oh, yeah. We're going to need some rooms for a while. Probably a little bit of an extended stay.
You want bunk rooms? You want 6 rooms?
I think
Bunk
it's
room.
bunk.
Bunk?
Just one bunk room.
All right. She kind of pulls out a ledger. Name for the. You want a boy, girl room? Boy room, girl room?
Can we share
Probably
one room?
appropriate.
Would we be able to share a full bunk room?
Yeah, we'll do 2 rooms.
It's a bit. All right.
Oh, dang it, it's gonna cost more.
You can fight it.
I
but
think
I'm
with the
pretty
luck
big.
we need 2 rooms.
My
I don't have a room big enough for 6 people.
Oh,
Two
fine.
We'll take 2 rooms.
Take 2
All right.
Guy room, girl room.
All right. I need a name. Put this all into.
Kappleberry.
Kappleberry. Like, I'm not even making roll deception. Does not seem to be caring about who it is. All right. So you need 2 rooms, 3 beds a pop. It's gonna be 8 silver apiece
Per night?
per night.
Do you have weekly rates?
Yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit better, so that would normally be 24 per room effectively on this. She could be pulling out cots for everybody. So if you're trying to reduce this, you want to rent out the place for a week.
Yeah.
Okay. One
Big
sec.
smile. Also,
Yeah,
really
whatever-
interested in.
Whatever the price is gonna cost 50 gold more. So I'm just like,
What?
I'm gonna be warding the rooms.
Oh.
That's why I wanted 1 room. I'm gonna be putting arcane locks on the doors.
Isn't that excessive?
That's really expensive.
That's really expensive.
I'm so paranoid. Fine, I won't do it.
no, you no.
alarm.
You can do it.
I'm not
I'll do
trying
alarms.
to bully you.
I'll give you guys alarms.
You do whatever you want. I just was curious. I was like, I was surprised, but hey, you use your powdered gold however you're going to use your powdered
lasts
gold.
forever.
It
This is
lasts
a
forever.
room in a tavern. You likely can't have this room forever.
I mean, the spell
8
lasts
silver.
forever.
Look, when we buy an apartment,
For the daily
We
like
rent
a-
an apartment. We
a
cannot
townhome,
leave.
actually.
If you're going to do it for a week, it'll be 6 silver a day.
Okay.
So-
Six
How
silver
about-
a day? So for a week per person, 6 times 7.
What are you going to schmooze? Are you going to schmooze me?
If you're working here.
Like if maybe I offered some of my skills at the bar, maybe we could get a little bit more of a discounted rate. I'll do it free of charge at the bar.
All right. Make me an Asmodean finger.
Okay.
Make me a brewer's tools check.
I was gonna ask.
This is going to be for this one because it's more of a looking at the recipe. It's not very difficult to make. I'm gonna have you use either intelligence or wisdom. He's gonna choose wisdom, guys.
I was gonna say, can you make a pumpkin spice latte? Oh no.
Yo, give me that. Hello. We're gonna be. This is one of our first uses of a bicycle,
First
isn't it?
one, first bicycle.
All right. So by using this, we are allowing a reroll.
That's pretty good. 19.
You take a bit. You actually go ahead and start taking a little bit of this hard but clear liquor from behind the bar. Then you actually go ahead and ask for where the kitchen is. You all see Thorne steps away for a brief moment, comes back with what looks to be some sort of small. It's not a chicken. You're probably some of you might not be familiar with what the bird itself is. Comes over, chink, little knife, dips in just a small, just a small drop of fresh blood from the bottom of it. Puts the bird down. The bird scurries off. You see, she sends one of the people to go get it. It's probably, I don't know what the fantasy equivalent of this. It's a very small little brown with black speckled bird.
Like a quail?
As it kind of runs off. Julia's. It's a Julia. As you kind of but you see this little drop of blood floating as he begins spinning the glass, and you see it just kind of mixes in. From that point, just begins pouring just a couple mixtures that go in on here. You see, he finishes off a little bit of spice on top, puts it in front of her. She takes the shot. Ugh. That's revolting. Good work. It's terrible. It's a bad drink to show off, but she takes it, does not look happy that she drank it. But if you're willing to work on some of the evenings, not all of them, because I know you're going to need some adventuring times, but it'll be a few hours a day, effectively. If you can't work during the night, work during the day some. I'll reduce the rate. It's going to be a total of 5 silver apiece per day for 7 days. So it's 35 silver apiece.
Great.
Sounds great.
I think that was reasonable.
That's fair. I was gonna shoot for 4, but 5 is great.
So mark off 35. So
When I get the chance, I'm going to try to invent a new drink. Like
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to so make a note of that for yourself. I'm gonna ask you to do that on a day where you have a little bit more time. This first day, kind of getting familiar with the bar here, apologizing to that poor bird that you took just a little bit of fresh blood from. Now you wanted to ask about the duels?
yeah, I'd love to sign up.
All right.
Any rules, waivers, regulations? Rules again?
Don't kill people.
No
Now,
problem.
I got a slot open in 3 days.
Dang, 3 days.
Yeah, we do the fights. There's a bunch of betting beforehand, and if we don't have people doing the betting, there's not much of a point to doing it at all. I mean, you can get on the table see if anyone wants to fight you for free, but honestly, I ain't heard of you before, so.
What if we bet on her?
Well, I mean, you need a bunch of other people to do it. It sounds like a whole lot of hullabaloo. You could just come back in a couple of days, get a fight in.
How much do people typically bet on a fight?
Well, it depends. How good's the fight?
I think I can offer a pretty decent fight.
Putting 5 gold on the table on L.
All right,
Oh.
we're starting some rumors.
Big shot, huh?
It's not me, it's her.
Why don't you slide a couple more that's on them? I'll try to rouse up some folks to come check out your friend.
I'd
You got a fighting name?
While you consider what your new identity will be, I'll put another 5 on.
I'll also put 5 on.
Now, the question
Is there another fighting game? Do I have an example?
can he match our 5 is my better question.
Got an
She-
example of
She. Ooh.
kind of.
Girl boss.
Girl boss.
You can say that.
We love them. You know this, right? Like, we would die for Octa. We met her 2 seconds ago.
I know.
Not die for Octa.
I would. I love a girl boss. Good girl boss in the morning.
That's 15 gold on the table.
It's 15
On
gold.
the
Are you
random
paying
roll.
her any extra to do some advertising for
That
her?
was the
Oh.
the extra. Oh, you want to do
I thought there was a bet on her.
I think
Yeah, we're
Win-Win and
betting.
Silas are putting 5 each, and
I'll pay 5 for advertising.
Okay, so it's 10 gold of a bet.
Yeah. It's
Can we
5
pay
whole
for-
gold in advertising.
If I slip her another name, can she come up with a good name for L?
Yeah, I'll see what I can come up with, honey.
If you want to make your own, go for it. But I'm willing to pay for
I'm
it.
kind of scared. I don't know what the other people's names sound like.
Well, what's your name?
L.
L.
Like the letter.
E-L.
L.
Oh, that's not how I would have spelt it, but hey, you know, you do you, I guess.
It's short. For
Oh, thank you so much, Pause, for the sub. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you.
Well, let's see here. Did I mess up my screen? No, my screen's fine.
I can do some cool tricks with lightning.
Listen, I got like 70 hours to think about this. Well, you come back here that evening, we'll have a nice big fight here, all right?
Anyway, I
Yo, you want someone like big and burly, quick and nimble? What you looking for?
A good fight.
Flashier
yeah.
the better.
Oh, y'all are some confident.
Poor
All right.
We're
I mean, we can demonstrate if you'd like.
Sure.
Sure.
All right, assholes, get your drinks off my dueling table. You see some people start bringing
Who
their.
are you challenging to a duel?
We're gonna do a play fight.
You
Oh God.
throw it convincingly.
Oh man,
We got time for a play fight?
Do we have
what time is it?
10.
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
I need to pull something up real quick.
I need to.
I didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's
I'm
gonna
sorry.
be this duel.
Do you
I
want to?
was not anticipating this either.
I don't think
I.
Look,
Okay.
I just don't want to hit L. It's not right.
I have to pull
Oh,
up
you want
real
me to hit
quick.
it out?
That would be hilarious.
That would
Drive.
Does dueling involve the
I'm
rap?
scared about how eager you are to hit me, apparently, is meaning.
I'm just gonna throw her.
Between the childhood revelation, I'm starting to get worried that we're
Yeah,
not best
you're
friends.
treating it as a duel. Silas is treating it as a
Maybe just
sumo
a
match.
moment. I don't have the. So what we're gonna do here? We're not gonna use the. We'll introduce on your actual official night duel next session. We'll use those the homebrew dueling rules we actually have for our table. But for now, we're just gonna do a basic little skill challenge. L, choose your opponent. Who do you think would both be a good fight and would be exciting for, admittedly, quite a few people? You guys came here right at the start of the peak. The sun has set. People have been pouring in, ordering drinks. You can see that the various people who are working here kind of have they're all very excited. Some of them have like wooden rapiers on their hip. Some of them have these painted on scars. Like they're all dressed up like they're swashbuckling duelists. Who do you challenge of your party?
I'm scared that Gwynwyn will give me a scar on my amazing face. So
Fair.
Wow. What's your charisma again? 14?
yeah, 14.
It is a pretty good face.
Pretty good face.
She's real loose with the acid.
Yeah, and poison.
And the poison.
Oh,
I got money.
so before you pick your opponent, basically all you need to know is this. You get knocked off the table, you touch the ground, you lose. You kill your opponent, I call the gods. The guards. Oh man, my accent is terrible. I'm probably offending people right now. No, really, I'm gonna get yelled at because it's not good. Sorry about that.
I'm down. I like the accent.
Yeah. What else? What else do I need to tell you? Well, if you're gonna be lobbing around, fire and ice and all sorts of magics, you mess up my bar, I'm gonna start having people throw shit at you. You don't lose, but you'll piss me off. You want me on? Crowd's always on my side.
No. All respect to you, man.
So I want to clarify that. This means if you are using magical abilities, be careful about missing.
Cool. Who wants to fight?
Is Beanie looking real hard, not at you, huh?
Who are
You
you?
want to fight? I'm scared that you're about to
I think
kick
the big
my ass.
elephant man would make a fun fight.
Who would you beat is the question.
I don't know. You have a lot of health.
It's not a fight. It's a skill check.
This is just the skill challenge, the simpler version of this. Now, when we do this for real, we're going to use, just for next session, I don't have that right here in front of me, we're going to use and introduce for the very first time our dueling mechanic.
Okay.
This is
We can do this. We got this. Jake, we got this.
Now, in this moment, as you're making eye contact, is there any indication from either of you about letting someone win?
No.
Yes! You know what? Can I put a bet on this?
Yes.
I want to see if anyone wants to make a bet with. Would anyone like to make a bet with me?
Sure.
Does anyone have the currency to
I don't
gamble
have
with
the
the
currency.
DM?
I'm
Yeah.
scared that I don't.
The ones that has the currency are the ones fighting.
Who are you
everybody
betting
has
on?
the currency but me.
Amanda.
You're speaking his language.
Now, this is not Gwynwyn betting. Amanda,
This is Amanda's
this
betting.
This is fully meta.
I'm betting on Kala.
All right.
Thank you.
Childhood friend no
Then
more.
Silas, if
We're
you win,
real life
here's the fun
childhood
True.
part. What's great is good things are gonna happen no matter what. It's
Yeah.
fine.
If I get my ass kicked, we're gonna lose all our money. You just bet on my later fight.
And
No, not necessarily. All right. So the table itself is about 15 feet long. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, about 15 to 20 feet long. So it's 3 or 4 squares, mechanically speaking. As you begin climbing up, there's people slide up this little wooden set of 3 stairs to step onto the table. Are you using it?
No, I jump.
Make an acrobatics check.
Sure. It's gonna really.
Silas, 1 step.
can I use a bicycle to give her a disadvantage?
What the
Do you
hell?
have more?
I have one more.
I rolled a 23. Come on, man.
I'm not gonna
really?
do that now.
Oh, okay.
That would be
incredible.
hilarious.
Silas, you kind of take a step up. The table creaks, and does not break. But you're like, oh, okay. If you do too much leaping on here, who knows what might happen?
Just like ginger.
The table is the thing you're allowed to mess up.
Okay.
As you stand up here, Silas, you do notice the burn mark on the top is gone, which you saw before. But as you kind of climb up, you see Elle flips upwards, kind of tucks into a small small ball, lands on her feet, and stands.
I've never seen you do that in a fight. Huh? You should.
Well, this is
probably
why I
try
run a
that in
5K
real
every
life.
morning.
I was just saying you should probably try that in a real fight.
I did.
soon.
I did a front flip when we fought in the cave.
Oh, by the stalagmite. Tight.
I can't do this. I don't know.
That's fine.
The answer is I don't know.
Might tight.
All right. So, how this is... Hello.
I'm jazzed for this.
All right. I'm going to need you both to roll for initiative.
Oh my gosh.
As you both draw your weapons, hammer in your hand.
Second natural 20 for the day.
So I just need to know who won the initiative.
I mean, if you got a natural 20, you won.
Yes.
Yeah.
21.
Silas and Elle. In this first challenge, all right, the two of you are quite far apart. What I'm going to be asking for both of you is we're going to be very loosey-goosey for this first one. Remember, part of this is a demonstration of your abilities. You can do a couple of things here. You can attempt to be doing something performative, using performance to kind of show off to the audience as you're going on. You can try to show off a feat of strength using your athletics. Additionally, if you'd like to use some sort of magic in some way, we'll have you do an Arcana check. Or similarly, you describe to me what you're doing on your turns. Now, Silas, you won the initiative, so you're going to be the one kind of starting on these. And if whoever rolls higher on their respective skill check is going to sort of win that round.
Okay. Moving forward.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah. Oh God.
Battle music time?
Oh gosh. This is really intense for the thing we're doing.
You
So I'm
promised to
starting
stop
it
me.
out.
Silas, before you, a half-elven magus readies her blade.
Okay. Silas, we're going to start walking up into her square. Get into a defensive stance and hold an action.
So
Can I?
this is a skill challenge.
Skill challenge,
What
I
are
can't really
what are you doing on this turn? What's the plan?
If she misses, I'm going to hit her with a hammer.
Fantastic. All right. So on this one, this is going to be this is something relating to your strength. It's going to be an athletics check. Now, Elle, on your turn, what are you trying to do?
I'm being slippery.
Being slippery, kind of. This is a more defensive.
Yeah, well, he's in a very defensive, clearly ready to strike.
Are you afraid?
Well,
Gonna
no,
run
it's
around?
just I have enhanced alacrity. So I'm just going to slip away.
Okay. Go ahead. For this is going. So that's one more defensive, trying to dodge her out of the way. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check. Reminder: it is a skill challenge, so in general, try not to repeat. You won't repeat the actual same checks.
For athletics, I had a 7.
Elle?
24.
24. Elle kind of, for a moment, plays, kind of dances around with you a bit. The blade coming up, pointed right at you. As she thrusts a feint, you swing your hammer, and she's able to kind of dodge out of the side, puts her back kind of against yours before stepping away, and the two of you turn to face each other. You've now swapped positions. Round 2. Roll for initiative.
Good die. Good die.
Only a 7 on mine.
21.
Elle, you have the initiative. You're going to be starting off this round. You have one success. What are you doing this turn?
I'm going to be doing something magical.
Okay.
And the kind of flavor of it is trying to knock him off his balance a little bit.
Okay. What spell are you using for this? Are you using any form of actual spell?
Yeah.
Grease.
I'm using grease.
Gorgeous. Okay. So that's going to be an Arcana check from you. Now, Silas, what are you doing on this turn?
I've seen her cast a spell before.
Thank you so much.
Should we get a new song?
We did. Pause.
Thank you.
Great. We really appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Means a lot.
So
Guys, we're getting really close to our goal.
I've seen her cast the spell Grease before.
Sure.
I'm going to sit down on the ground.
This is I would say this is a very intelligent sort of thing. It's also very context dependent. So I'm gonna ask. This is sort of like your so because it would normally be a dex save. How I'm gonna flavor this. Go ahead and make your Arcana check for me,
Can I
Clella.
actually-
And your yes, Jake.
I want to bait her. Is it okay if I do kind of a persuasion check instead? Like
What do
sit
you-
on the ground and motion to her. I'm fine with her casting
Oh
Grease.
yes, you're trying. Yeah, so yes, you're gonna. The flavor of it is you're sitting down and you're just like, come at me.
Yes.
There's going to be a persuasion check, and your Arcana roll.
That's going to be
Yes,
a
hi, Chaz.
14.
A 14 on the Arcana. You
Natural 1.
You extend your hands outward, and
Not doing good.
a wave of grease. Instantly, this white surface of this table is all shiny and covered in this false oil. As you do, you watch Silas bring his weight low, kneeling almost in like a crouching, sitting sort of stance. Kind of looks over, gestures towards you. You don't quite take the bait, and instead ready yourself in a defensive stance for that next one.
I mean, I rolled a natural 2 on that persuasion, so.
Now, Silas, This is a skill challenge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Good.
You know, it's very like out of character. You're very close to losing this one.
Yeah, no,
During this last round, I am going to impart disadvantage on your roll.
No, yeah, that's
The
fair.
final moment. It's very risky. Roll for initiative. This roll does not have disadvantage.
16.
18.
Silas, she didn't take the bait. You're in a low, somewhat compromising position. What do you do in this moment?
I'm gonna charge at her. I know you offered
Okay.
a disadvantage, but can I use a resource action surge to try and swing twice before she can move?
So you're spending a resource.
Yeah.
Very good. I like when people expend resources. I very much appreciated that. As you're kind of pushing through, you're trying to kind of this ferocious series of attacks.
Better yet, I know I'm at a disadvantage. Silas sees that he's kind of losing, right?
You're on the ground. You were low and don't have sure footing.
I want to grab her and yeet us both off the table. Her landing first.
Okay, because here's what I'm gonna do. You have already utilized the athletic skill, so this is going to be raw strength is your roll.
Okay.
I'm giving you disadvantage unless you're gonna use that action surge. We'll flat roll it.
I'm using action surge.
Cool. I'm taking that resource from you. L.
So in terms of like actual things I would do, seeing him charge at me, I would want to disengage again, knowing that he's running through grease at full speed at me. And the best thing to do would be step aside and let gravity do its work.
So, a couple options here. You try to feint using your deception, or because you're trying to do something that's kind of acrobatic once more, I'm going to take away your proficiency and make you do
I was
a raw
thinking more
dex
of like
check.
a sleight of hand, almost like I am like
Oh,
standing there and waiting
that's an
till the
interesting-
last minute to like step aside, knowing that the longer I stay there,
I've heard your plea. I really like the thought process here. It does require some sleight of hand to do, difficult and deft tasks.
It's like a little
I'm going to say
pool.
you're trying to trick him. I'm going to ask for that deception check.
Okay.
No, but I like it. Plead your cases, guys. Seriously, all the time.
Ooh, let's see.
Alex, you're allowed to not like it.
Aw.
I'm gonna spend a resource.
What? Bottle cap or bicycle? Dang
Bicycle.
it! Oh man, for those of you who aren't in the know,
I want to re-roll.
bicycles very useful.
Oh my gosh.
Did you get a natural 20?
No, I got a natural 1 on the re-roll.
That's like your second natural one
That's the
today.
second one.
I
You had two natty 20s.
I
I
had
like-
2 nat 20s and a natty 1.
Silas is
I-
very good. Awesome day.
I should not have re-rolled. So it's
What was the
fine.
roll?
I had a 18.
An 18. All right. But just letting everyone know, that's 3 out of 5. That's how this works. All right, L. He dives forward, tackling. Now, because of the grease, you aren't able to shove her off entirely, but as you do, kind of pushing, she tries to dive out of the way, and you're able to kind of knock her. She's knocked prone. She wobbles for a moment, pushes her hand out, and actually shoves off one of the patrons. People cheering, losing their mind. You see Octa is kind of standing overlooking, calls over to Thorne, "Get back to work!" Yes.
Oh my god.
When
Connor can't handle this.
cheering
Just
each
kind of
other
mage
out.
hands some
I'm
drinks
just-
around.
You're just
Swirling
watching.
a wine
Yeah.
glass.
At the start of this one, I want to ask, are either of you two interfering?
No.
No, we're just having fun with this.
Excellent.
Aren't you taking shots?
I'm just swirling my wine in my glass, aerating it a little.
So bougie.
I refill
All right.
your wine glass.
It's topped up. Like,
Make that initiative check to see who has the initiative here. And Elle, you're really gonna want it since you're prone. You're
Yeah.
in a very rough
What's that?
spot.
18.
18. He's over, like righting himself, but he's knocked you to the ground. You've almost been pushed off. What do you got?
So it is generally I don't want to try to use the same skills over and over again, even if I'm doing different things.
Right. Now, when you spend resources, you kind of ignore a lot of the penalties I give you.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like the whole thing is a DM, get your players to spend their slots and stuff.
Or going out and investigating a murder.
Yep.
We have time later.
You said you were doing that tomorrow.
No, I said we were doing it tonight.
Yeah.
We're doing it tonight.
Oh shoot! I've been spinning spell slots and arcane pool.
That's
It's alright, we
fine.
got
You've
that
spent
stuff.
over half your arcane pool.
Yeah, so we're not.
Oh, you just spent
doing
one?
it.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
well.
one.
You did cast expedite.
And a first level spell.
Angry.
And I have one, and I
And
action
Angry.
surge.
Yeah, I only have
Surge.
one spell slot left.
Sorry, there were a couple people who said tomorrow. You said tonight,
I also
I thought
thought,
it
we were
was
doing
and
it
then tomorrow And then the conversation didn't come back up again.
Oh well.
I thought it was tonight.
We can still do it tonight.
Exploring some?
You both can also concede at any point.
Oh no, I'm happy to waste my resources.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Short rest or something.
We'll wait. I'll just play with the painting.
All right, the battle continues. What do you have for me, Elle?
I don't want to. I think. I'm prone. He like flattened me, right?
Yeah, you're
Are
prone.
you stand up? Are you standing?
Yes.
He's in the process of righting himself to be like looming above you.
Okay. Okay.
Any day now, little wizard.
In just
Not
a moment.
wizard. I am going to read some spells. I'm gonna try. I'm trying to shock him in a non-literal sense.
I don't have metal other than my hammer.
I want which is why I'm not gonna shocking grasp. I'm trying to thinking about it. I'm almost like pushing him off of me.
Yeah, this would be athletics for you. You're trying to knock him back and get yourself into a neutral position.
Except I'm gonna be inflicting wounds as I do so.
Ooh.
I'm like, get off.
Jake's not gonna like what I'm about to say. Give me an athletics check with advantage.
Okay. I'm not like super great at athletics.
Reaching up, a leg comes up at your leg. Wow. A leg comes at your knee as she's trying to take the.
Elven accuracy.
She has advantage.
This is Elven accuracy. That's 3 dice. Silas, as this attack's coming, she's trying to knock you off. What are you doing?
I've seen her with her back to a corner. I know what she does in a fight. Can I use an insight check to kind of guess what she's doing and get out of the way?
That is exceptionally clever. You're trying to figure out and kind of predict what she's doing. I love it. I love it.
Oh, 15.
16.
For a moment, there's kind of a brief moment where people aren't sure. This massive Loxodon, mighty. There's no one here who thinks you're bumbling, by the way. The two of you have been clashing, and Silas is the loud booming steps, even over the din, the roaring of the fans and the people who are excited all in the tavern. People raising up drinks. You dive, you get knocked down. He slides around. You guys both trying to find your footing in the grease dissipating as the concentration slips away. Elle reaches forward, bringing the blade up, and you're able to catch her. But the spell imbuing in you, there's a momentary weakness, and you feel a shoulder hitting you square in the chest. It isn't enough to move the full weight of you, but it is enough to cause you to lose balance. And unfortunately, as the spell is dissipating, people diving out of the way to avoid being crushed as hundreds of pounds of Loxodon man slam into the ground. Yeah! Yeah!
It was a good game.
The Mad Mages! Woo!
I cannot help you up, but I will still offer
Oh,
handouts.
Do you want?
laughing.
Would you take it and pull her?
He's taking a second to laugh. He realized what happened. He accepts
That was
us
so
loving
fun.
it.
You should also fight.
No. That was too much. Never again. I'd rather not have inflict wounds cast on me again.
Oh, it hurt. I'm sorry. You do need
That
to roll the
hurt.
damage.
I am on the
Oh,
ground. I'm
sure.
laughing, but I'm in pain. This is a painful spell, right? What's
You
the
just
damage?
see like
It's like 3d10 or something?
you just see a bottle of whiskey
It's
float over
14
to you,
points of damage.
land on your belly.
I mean, just the tusks, or not the tusks.
14 points.
When one does come over and hands you a
I
potion,
want-
11 healing.
I want you all to know that
I'm gonna
on that
take
last
short rest.
roll, I
I don't
rolled a
care what y'all
natural
say.
1 is one of mine.
Oh yeah.
I rolled a
that was-
1,
Elven
a
accuracy's
12,
nutty.
and a 14.
If you didn't have Elven accuracy, I would have won that. So.
Yeah, the
No,
Elven
well, you
the
would have
third.
one more round.
No.
I was 2 out of 3.
Was the
It was
natural
3 out of 5.
3 out
was
of 5.
the natural 1 2
Counts to
failures
2.
or 1 failure?
That would make a difference.
It was 3. It was 4 total rounds. Is what you did? It was 3 versus 1.
I was just curious if the nat 1 that was rolled was a
Amanda, your dice rolled so well.
Uber failure.
yeah, if it was a 2
If
failure.
it was, then that would have been good.
I had a lot riding on you. I needed you to win.
So, who was the wager on again? Does anyone want to remind me of that little bet?
I put
I bet on
5.
But Claudia, do you know what that means?
Well, we all put 5 on Cola.
Oh no,
No,
no, that's for her real fight.
Amanda
You-
bet on Cola.
Amanda, have an extra bicycle.
You get your original.
Alternatively, would you like to donate it to the victor?
You can keep
will.
it. You can
We'll
keep
donate it
it.
to the victor.
Just keep me in mind next time I need one.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Just keep
Maybe spend it on her.
Yeah.
I was about to say I spent mine.
Buy yourself something nice.
And Jake said fictional childhood friends trump real life ones. Amanda.
That's fair.
All right. Sorry, this is one of my favorite jams that we have on our playlist.
I know, it's
It
so
reminds
fun.
me of my time down in the bayou.
You're from
No.
Alabama.
They have bayous out there. Don't be Alabama this.
they do. Legally speaking, they do have the bayous over there.
Now we're near Louisiana.
Now we're a fan of Jake's family, though.
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
So it's meaty.
Yeah, I'm only mid-southern.
Do you want
People are
to go
jamming and
explore
partying
with
in this
me
place
while these
now.
I
two
don't blame
have,
them. This is a
go
fun
rest
fight.
up. Thorn, drink,
I have
I
a drink?
want.
Yeah, Mage Hand one too.
and that one works.
I would like to, before we do that though, I'd like to go see what our quarters look like.
Oh,
Our sleeping quarters.
Silas would like a moment
That
of the
we-
quarters to
Sure.
recover.
I'm having an adrenaline high. I'm like, yeah! It's great.
Oh,
I think it's Mimi and I are gonna go exploring afterwards.
Sure.
Okay,
you
there's
owe Silas
huh?
for hitting him with that spell, though.
I'm sorry.
Inflict wounds is a lot.
I
Buy you
would
drink?
definitely like to go with you guys if you're gonna go.
Wait, I would actually, in sincerity, like to go.
This is the problem. I think that we just end up spending the night here and then going out the next day because we've got
Okay.
people who
I'll
want
be
to go.
completely honest. Silas taking a short rest, he is good to go.
Right. The problem is L's use of resources with Expeditions Retreat and Greece and all the other stuff.
You have down 2 first level spell slots?
3 Expeditions Retreat.
Do you have any spell slots? You have 1 left? You're out of spell slots.
Right.
Winning is really important to L. And
I
me.
respect it. That's good RP. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Winning is really important, and you've got many nights. I am not useless if I can't cast spells. I still have a sword. I still have weapon bursts.
You're
Still got.
I was gonna
3
say more
arcane-
better.
I still got 3 arcane points. Like I know I look. I can't cast first. I got spells still. I'll be fine.
I think we can still go investigate.
Okay. But regardless, we have to look at the quarters first. I have
Yeah.
a reason.
Just a quick reminder. Just check in. You're talking about going to check in on a crime scene that happened several days ago.
Yeah.
Just making sure I'm following.
Yes. But
Okay.
not before any of that, we have to go to the quarters here. Because it may take me 40 minutes before we can leave.
I can
Oh,
also
that's
cast
fine.
alarm.
I'm gonna say we're staying for an hour. At least give me a.
To give you a short rest. So we're gonna need to secure the rooms for 8 hours.
Silas would like to lay down after getting hit with that spell.
I'll continue to
Okay.
work the bar.
Getting here probably around 9:30, almost 10 o'clock.
That's why you're on the left.
Heading upstairs, you kind of going through the rooms. The rooms themselves are very nice. Having on the second level, you can see they're these angular rooms with a nice broad window, which you would assume, like, kind of thinking about it for a minute. For thinking about it for a moment, one side would give you a nice morning sunrise, and the other one probably could see a nice sunset. Conveniently, kind of showing the directions that the city of Eltz actually stretches at its furthest. Each of the rooms are roughly the same size, having this sort of kind of trapezoidal shape to it. In one of the rooms, there is an actual song is a lot.
It's great.
People partying downstairs, having a good old time. But in here, it's actually it's much more muted when you're in the room, but opening the door is very loud and jarring. Not quite magically, but it's a sturdily built structure. In the rooms, there are 3 bunks that have been 3 cots that have been set up. So there's 1 permanent bed and 2 temporary cots. You all can wrestle over who gets the nicest one, but
Got this, Rex.
I pay both
I'll take a
Yosef and Thorne. I'm taking the bed.
you
I
would
have
ruin.
a bedroll.
You have your own cot.
You just stay in your bedroll.
Yeah, I have a
Your own
bedroll.
cot.
Oh,
Your own cot.
My uncle gave me.
I feel bad.
You can put it
now.
on the cot.
Yeah.
You can put it on the
Gotta
cot.
make it
So
nice.
No, now I feel bad. You take the bed.
You're gonna break the
Can the-
cot.
can
you will
I'm
destroy
not
the
even
cot.
in the room.
You'll
I'm
destroy
downstairs at the bar.
Okay.
You're working for a couple more hours. Yeah.
There's a window and a door in
Oh,
each room.
Thorn has a shift.
What was that?
There's a window and a door in each
There's 1 window and 1 door. Yes, ma'am.
And how far away from here approximately would the docks be? Can we see them from here or?
The docks are probably about 1.5 to 2 mile. I'm gonna call it a 1.5 miles.
The-
Let me look at my map real quick.
Then we'll do loud.
Okay.
You can also just straight up nail the magic. Great, but you can also just nail the windowsill shut. It will help.
Let's not permanently change and or damage the place
I
you're
will
staying.
bet 2 silver pieces that we look at this windowsill and someone has damaged it already. Or someone has nailed it
Give me
shut.
an investigation check as you go inspecting around. This room is nice. This is nicer than any places you've stayed so far.
Not
Let's
Yeah.
not fuck with this window.
a 10.
A 10? Kind of looking around. I mean, if you wanted to mess with the window itself has a pretty sturdy iron crossbar on it. To be honest, the window is pretty darn secure. The door is reasonable. It has a lock on it you were given a key for, but it's nothing exceptional.
The stables are good though for the horses.
The stable rate was included in.
Oh no, they're good. Like I'm not.
Yeah, I have in my notes that
No, I'm taking the mithril cold iron and putting them in a room.
You want to grab the most expensive little bits and put them in the room with you?
Dragon
Perfect.
scales, mithril, cold iron.
Takes you, you work with Yosef 15 to 20 minutes, go and unload.
we were told this place because I wanted to find the nicest place we could afford that our horses could stay, which is why we knew about this place.
Yep.
Sure.
The stables are solid. There are multiple people working. One of them, when you kind of bring over Merlin, notices kind of a little, not kink, but like a little mess up in the actual mane, and actually goes and reaching for a brush and just starts in the evening just giving him a nice little brushing.
Give him a tip. But yeah, I'm not worried about the horses staying here. I'm worried about someone trying to take our merchandise.
Right, so my point about the alarms is not like, oh, let's keep people out entirely, but it's like, if somebody comes in, we'll deter them from staying.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's going to be noisy and everybody's going to hear it. So it's going to draw attention to them that they wouldn't want anyway. So
That's fair.
you do one room, I'll do the other, see each other in 20 minutes.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go get some rugs.
Unloading some rugs. You can really deck this place out pretty nice.
They get the smaller rug.
Oh yeah, the girls' room.
Are you getting the
it's-
drapes too? Kind of laying them over some of the empty shelving that's in the room?
tapestry. Let's go.
I like-
There's space for you to, travelers pass through Eltz, so there are bookshelves. They're empty bookshelves.
I fell off the bookshelf.
Huh?
Put all my books on the
You put-
bookshelf.
Do you
Hey,
put
guys.
Mr. Book II on there?
No, I don't ever put Mr. Book down. My mom warned me, people will try to read your diary. Even if you put a warning,
Wait,
they're
time
going
out.
to read it.
Didn't you already read her diary the other
You
day?
read my diary?
No. I don't give a shit.
How serious does Elle get for a brief moment?
Deadly. We've done this before. We've done this before. This is the one thing she gets like really mad about.
lady's diary.
No,
Okay,
don't,
calm
don't
down.
touch
If
the
you
book.
took my diary, if you read it,
I'm sorry, his meaty's laughing so hard.
can you not read it? Wait, let me take out Mr. Book. I'm gonna
Thorne
scratch
can't
out my
read.
warning telling Thorne not to read it. I don't need that part.
I don't know how much that came through.
He is dying.
Hello, fans, friends, frenemies, and those we do not like.
Jared.
Yeah, Jared, I guess.
Sorry to all the
Fun
Jareds out
fact.
I know, to
To clarify,
the real
Laurentius
Jared
Thorne.
watching.
Cannot read. Just fully too dumb.
6
Send you
in.
to Calber.
Never picked it up.
there. No, he's been looking at it like.
I will spend my downtime to teach him how to read. I have other things I want to do, but now I feel bad.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, only Thorne can read.
Can make a mean whiskey sour though.
Wait, didn't you bring a recipe to make drinks? You just
My
look at it and
cheeks
go,
hurt.
"Nah."
I know.
It's like, yeah, that looks right.
I'm like almost crying.
The look on your face when they were all accusing you of reading it.
Clella, they will never admit that they cried during a game under any circumstance.
I've never cried before.
Oh,
My
you know,
life.
emotions.
Sorry to the real Jared listening.
Oh yeah, actually, fan Jared, we love you. It's Bandit Jared who we
It's
can't stand.
fictional Jared. who I
Fictional Jared.
Just in case there is a
I'm
real Jared
Jared.
out there.
I get a bandana. I'm Jared.
met. Actually, when Matthew puts on a bandana, I immediately try to attack him. So
It's very violent.
Yep.
small the
He's
scratch.
always putting bandanas on.
Oh god.
All right. So are we gonna like hang out for an hour?
Keep outside this. I can't stop because I
What?
can't
So
read.
I will have to say,
Oh, yeah, cool sign.
what is the final decision for the party?
If we don't go out tonight, I'm
Thank you.
gonna spend some time with actually studying the painting because we need to know what we're looking at if we're gonna be looking for more of them.
I was starting a copy. I'm pretty sure I've already finished it, but I would also still like to look at the painting another time. Yes, I'll still help you, don't worry. I was gonna steal her for a second too.
So about 10 o'clock.
You guys gonna read?
Yeah.
What's the
You
pl-
have- you have
I want to
a
know the
shift.
what's and the how long.
But you have a shift.
One or two, stay or go.
We go.
We go.
Oh, Okay, I was trying to go back to y'all's side. Fine, then let's go.
No, you convinced us.
Oh.
We're
We're
fully
going,
like,
we're
we
going.
should go.
And we did
Yeah.
take a short rest. I don't know.
Whenever Thorne gets off work.
I'm done.
We took a short rest.
I've
so I'm
filled enough drinks and glasses. She only gave us 1 fucking silver off of the rate.
Each,
She has 2
though.
silver
Per
off.
day.
how much?
No, it was 8. You went
13
to...
damage.
Yeah.
No, we went 8 to 6 to 5.
To 6 to 5, yeah.
Yeah, so that's per day, though.
So
So that's 7 days.
I
That's
wanted
7 silver off.
I also went 4.
It's a lot. What I did was already a lot.
If we took a short rest, can I roll a hit die?
So, so I want to know what's going on. So it's about 10:30.
We're going out on the night, going clubbing, or
It's
investigating.
10:30 now. We would have to. They would have to do their thing.
I made some drinks.
So we take
You did
a
your
short
alarms. You
I
took
did
a
my short
rest.
You took the short rest. We set the alarms. You were working.
Okay.
Do we go out or do we stay in? We're
This is-
saying we go
this
out.
is what I'm asking you
I know
guys.
you got
We've
talking.
We've already
Going out.
majority
We
rolled.
go
We're
out.
going out.
We're going out. Great.
Going
We've had
out
time for
after
a
Going
short rest.
clubbing.
I'm gonna roll for hit dice. Okay.
Yeah, we did the short rest already. We're rolling it, but I recast
13
magic
minutes.
armor, mage armor, and then take my rest.
I can take a short rest. I don't. It doesn't benefit me. I haven't lost any.
Okay.
I
You all make your way onto the streets of Eltz. The number of stars here, looking up, is breathtaking to many of you. Yes, I know we're in a city, and in the modern era, looking up at the stars, not as great when you're in the city as when you're in the country. But you spent so many times under thick canopies of trees, and in the storms that have happened here over the past few weeks, you haven't had a lot of time to appreciate it. Marching your way down towards the docks at the southern tip of the West End. Is that correct? That is the intent here.
yeah.
What's the moon like?
The moon right now is almost in a new moon.
Still the mist.
Looking up, for those of you who may not recall, and those of you who are new, staring up, the moon itself, it's just a waning little crescent, almost entirely gone. Tonight, unfortunately, Lady Moonbow's light is not with you. And in its place, a film of bluish mist surrounds it. The blue mist expands 2-3 times the width of the actual moon itself. On the new moon, blue light actually will radiate and be visible on the surface itself. Taking your time, the streets are relatively calm here in the evening.
Clutching my little amulet, my
I know.
moon amulet.
We're all nervous over here. Yeah.
The ones that don't care about the moon are just like, okay.
If we
Yeah.
don't have Lady Moonbow, then
Elf.
we're dwarf.
For those of you who may not know, Lady Moonbow, the Moon Mother, is the goddess, the high goddess of the elves, since the passing of her lover, Coralon.
And the three of us that explicitly worship her are like,
Better hope Onlon is out tonight then.
Passing through past Pirewood Row, down back towards the Barrows. People still working. Lots of here. You notice actually quite a few of these larger Dragonborn men are working at these places. A very high density of Dragonborn actually in this area, working, carrying crates. Some of them you can see as you kind of overlook, because the West End, as you go further east, kind of slants downward towards sea level. And where you're looking here, you can see people loading things onto ships to head over, maybe across the bay over to the north end, or some of them even perhaps to leave Eltz altogether. You proceed a little bit further toward. Yes, Jake.
Sorry to interrupt, but on our way over there, just not telling them, can Silas keep an eye out for maybe some seedy location somewhere he wouldn't want to be after dark?
This is a fun random investigation check. Absolutely.
With that city watch we talked about earlier, since I'm looking for something seedy.
Yes, it would be disadvantaged because you're in
Dark
dim
out.
light the whole time, so it'd be a flat roll.
Yes!
Yeah. Also, quick reminder of those of you without dark vision, there are torches. The streets are filled with these wonderful lamps, small beacons in an otherwise dim city. As you proceed through the barrows and into the weeds, the lights become few and far between. Nothing, Silas?
No, probably nothing.
Things get a bit dimmer, a bit darker. folks begin few and far between. People gazing around corners, checking you out, and deciding maybe a group of 5 isn't a good mark for tonight.
Actually, how long does this last?
You catch more than once a trio of folks, crossbows in tow, peering down from alcoves on top of some of these structures.
As we get closer to this dock area, I'd like to take a minute to begin casting a spell.
Okay.
It's gonna take a full minute to cast. It's gonna last for an hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, as I do, I'm gonna hold Squawk and hold him in my hands. And towards the end of the spell, coming out from that obsidian skull in his head, 2 owls gonna appear next to him, hoot and chirp.
You watch as a small crack atop the obsidian skull. Now, did the owls look normal? Or do they have skull heads?
They'll have like little ghostly skull heads on.
Pure black kind of a thing.
Ooh, they're ghost-like?
They're not as solid.
Okay.
They're kind of like
I like it.
out from Squawk.
Almost like you've cracked a tank. This inky black gas begins to coalesce and form a slightly brighter. You begin to take on some of the color, but not fully, almost as if it's not entirely there, as this pair of owls is here. As you finish casting Flock of Familiars, you now have 3 familiars as needed.
So Hoot and Chirp are gonna join us for the next hour.
Huge reminder, you're gonna have all sorts of advantage on perception checks as you're using
because
them.
they're gonna be. I'm gonna be having them. They're with their telepathic communication and vision within a mile. So we're gonna have them go up and start scanning as well to help us stay aware of things.
There are so many people. You witness 3 or 4 as you're walking through here for the next few minutes. You see folks being mugged. You see break-ins. You see off in the distance homes burning. The Weeds is in a sorry state. What you don't see are occupied guard stations. As you're traveling through here, rusted bells atop of those stations for you to actually ring and notify folks. This is not really where patrols are going to be found.
Did she tell us about any of the burglaries, stuff like that?
I'm kind of like muttering under my breath, kind of keeping you guys posted on what I'm seeing. That is just like absolute chaos.
City is abandoned.
Like silent chaos.
There's plenty of folks living here, but not living well.
It's almost just like par for the course. Like you go and you buy a loaf of bread at the stall, about as reacted to.
Grab a second.
Do we see any like
Greatest city in the world.
homeless people who are just kind of like sitting on the ground, maybe not? doing
Absolutely.
any work?
You've seen many people sleeping in the streets. You've seen a young girl, no older than 5 or 6, you'd presume, looks to be a fire genasi, huddled together in the cool autumn evening with what looks to be maybe her grandmother, perhaps, are kind of looking up. Their clothes ratty, tattered, kind of.
Go over to them, just like hands up, be like, not a threat, not a threat.
How help?
Has anything weird happened here? Like strange magic, very weird, not normal.
Do you have any food?
Yes, and Gwendolyn will reach in and hand them a thing of rations that she has on her.
Okay.
And also there's a
Taking this,
2 silver
she begins-
pieces underneath.
Mark those, but she begins taking and ripping off pieces of just like it's trail rations. So there's like some raisins. There's some of these
Something like trail mix.
You pull out a bag of Chex Mix. No, but pulling out this hardened bread that you normally soften with a bit of water, cracking it and trying to feeding the little girl. It's not a lot of magic lately. You gotta be careful. Heading too close to the water and the weeds. Some creeps may come out. Said they got glowing eyes, but I haven't. Me and my girl, we don't get anywhere near them.
Sounds good.
I think they're missing. Some of them are missing bits. Bone where there should be meat. nothing where there should be bone.
Scary. Sounds very scary.
Just stay away from the water at night.
Good advice. Gwynwyn will hand her another piece of ration, but will slip 2 gold underneath it, so that way no one sees her handing the money.
Sleight of hand. There are people in the weeds.
A 10?
With a 10, the flickering of the light here, maybe it was noticed, maybe it wasn't. Something you're not going to be quite sure about in the moment. You pass this along, she looks at you, begin just in Ignan, this primordial tongue of flame. Just a prayer as she kind of bows, thanking you. Small tears, kind of toughens herself up and continues just feeding this little girl who's just this whole time been very just drained. A child who's can't fathom what's been going on with her.
Like this place.
Gwynwyn, you're a good girl. Good job.
Are we looking to not attract attention to ourselves?
I have 3 birds circling us over.
I think we could.
They're owls. They're
Yeah.
nature's
They're not
quietest bird. And they can fly up.
I think attention here is deadly.
Yeah. I'm looking. I want to specifically.
So much of the city is nice. We would like to go to the place called the Weeds.
We like to go to the really
I
bad
thought we
area.
were
I like
gonna
it.
go buy marijuana or something.
Jake.
That's the other one.
If you want reefer, go talk to Adon.
So he
Whoa.
is a druid.
He could.
I don't recognize that name though. I'm just looking for threats to us. Anybody closing in? I'm gonna have Hoot come at like closer circles.
Give me a perception check with advantage.
He already has perception checks with advantage.
Right, that's why I'm saying,
Awesome.
as you all are moving through, Ismini kind of is able to notify you before threats are getting closer using this.
18.
18. If you'd like, you can fully get there unperturbed, unbothered by the various bandits and thieves and cut purses and cutthroats that you may have found here in the weeds.
Yeah.
Passing through the weeds and the barrows, past those who are without work and those who are at work. You arrive at the docks. Not a lot of loading and unloading is going on here. The docks themselves are the only place in the West End with actual access to the sea, as the delta blocks off most of the stuff in the bay from actually really taking any large ships across. You see these beautiful ships, some with 2, 3. One of them even has 5 masts. This massive, almost warlike galleon. Huh?
Mastiff.
Oh.
Like the dog?
Like a pun, like mast and massive.
It's the Mastiff.
why
It's the
I
name of the ship.
whispered it.
It's canon. It's canon. There you go. But as you kind of you gaze upon all of this, kind of looking around, Ismini, you start getting, think about the information you've gathered so far a little bit. You know you're in the docks. You can spend some time doing some investigation. With this sort of check, I am going to let you roll one more with advantage as you're looking around here.
Math 20.
Math 20. A couple things going to happen. You all take some time walking through the town. When you see guards using your owl, are you avoiding getting in the way of like guards who are patrolling as well? Kind of steering a bit clear, holding on to maybe it's Elle, maybe it's one of your other party members as you're walking through the town. Chirp sees something for a brief moment. You're flying as Chirp, and for a brief moment, you see something, a strange figure in a window on a 3rd story of a structure. Tall, wide, it looks similar to the apartment buildings you've seen further north, only this one, larger individual units and a little bit maybe it's for utility, maybe it's for glamour, but it's larger actual structure, the larger rooms. For a brief moment, Chirp catches the silhouette of someone, the back of them. The only reason you can see them really in the dark here is the fact that the stars are obscured only in the silhouette of them. You see most of a person. You see the ceiling itself ends about here, with the rest of their body holding outwards. From there, Chirp jolts, falling 10, 20, 30 feet, before righting itself and is able to be controlled once more. Something's up there. You can go take a look again. Yeah, you thought I'd put the creepy music on for nothing?
We're in a tough spot.
We were told about creepy undead coming from the water, or creepy things coming from the water.
I mean, I told you they're missing their body parts.
Yeah.
Undead was a good guess.
Creepy undead.
Sulo, but less nice.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The third story seems really interesting, though.
Why
want
would the bird tumble?
Yeah.
some maybe sort of magic preventing.
Anti-magic field, which would be
Yeah.
really bad
Is it like
for
it-
a lot of us.
Did you feel like you ran into something?
I can try to get a sense from him to see how he was feeling. You know, like
Fear. Chirp is terrified.
It's so hard to play a playable character when your chaotic self wants
You
to
are so chaotic,
go.
Jake.
you are.
I want to go.
Okay.
It's on the third story.
We should go.
The
But
third
we should
story of
go.
this building. I'm gonna pull, just bring Chirp back in a little bit.
You want to send up one of your braver birds?
You want to set up squawk?
Poor baby.
Squawk's brave because you can't see.
Squawk is a mean. Squawk is
Squawk-
mean.
Squawk
You
can't.
flipped
Get on
him
himself.
off earlier.
Squawk and I have a long and storied history.
Squawk can't see in the dark
That's why he's brave.
like Hoot and Chirp can.
It's a squawk. And handle
Good if
himself.
you sent light with them.
Such as a drift globe that only weighs a few pounds.
He's gonna be a big old target in the sky, with the light.
What about Hoot?
Oh, baby. Okay, Hoot, let's go, baby.
Are you watching through Squawk's eyes?
I'm watching through Hoot's eyes.
Hoot's eyes. You're sending Hoot? Okay.
Hoot and hollering.
Hoot can come
You
back.
see Hoot's wings extending as it flat.
I want to send the warning out though, of like, like, hey, you're gonna hit something. Like, be careful.
Okay.
Like a word of caution.
You begin flying up, this time much closer. Before it was at a distance, at an angle, now flying up close right near the window itself. Wide, much wider than something like in your room back at the Daring Duelist. You begin flying up, and as you crest over the base of this window, a torch in the room flickering illuminates just enough of the room, alongside the dark vision, of course, of this owl. Dark vision, muddy gray scale, for a moment, a bit of light as well to assist. Couple things. Very excited.
Coco is being
Coco's
baby.
like.
She's so cute. As you're flying up here, you gaze through the eyes of one of your familiars. 4 things. First, both you and Hoot see something perfectly paralleled. In the room, the door itself has a massive lock on it. What was that?
Keep going.
The room itself has been chained. It looks from the inside. The room has been locked up. In the room, you can see a couple of things. First, the room itself has a series of sculptures all around. Humanoid figures bent and angled in strange, uncomfortable, sometimes even impossible angles. One of them looked like his shoulder has been fully pulled out of socket, rotated around, this twisted, inhumane art. Around the side of the room, there are a selection of marble blocks, probably about 6 feet, 7 feet long. They are tilted over 90 degrees, laid on their side at the moment, but these statues do appear to be made of marble. To look around, carving tools, bits of... this is all information that's very quickly gleaned off of here. Looking around, there's carving tools, there's a small area where there looks to be a fire pit with a chimney, metal pipe that points out of the side near the window itself. What is in the center of the room is the things I'd like to discuss. Still impaled into the ceiling itself, up to her shoulders, there is a woman, limbs dangling at her side. Below, there is a single canvas mounted on an easel with a painting depicting the room itself. The painting itself is a little difficult to make out. You'll have to go and examine it in just a little bit. I'm gonna need a wisdom saving throw from you and the owl. And Asmini, I'm going to ask you to do this at disadvantage as bells begin ringing in your ear. Ding 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 as your alarm triggers.
Are we able to...
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
Is she the only one hearing the alarm?
Yes.
So it's my alarms on the girls' room.
It's your alarm in the girls' room.
Wisdom saving throw for me. Oh gosh. That'd be a 9 for me.
That is a 9.
Yeah, for me.
And for the owl?
Natural 20 for a 21. Or
Which
actually,
HP does the owl have, actually? I'm so sorry.
he has 1 hit point.
Explodes. Ismini, you're jolted out. And we'll see you next week.
No! What the hell?
Absolutely.
Killed who?
You can bring him back.
Food is very
You don't
easy
know that.
to fabricate.
Exploded.
Wait, the next one could be heat.
As
Heat. Hot.
we're going to end our session here today, please join us this Sunday for Footnotes. We're very excited to have Jake over. We're going to talk a little bit about both, some of your previous characters and maybe a little bit about what Silas's artistic plans are going forward. Additionally, if I can, I'd love to talk a little bit more about the city of Eltz. Thank you guys all so much for supporting our channel and coming down and enjoying the story together. All right, well, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Victoria, you're allowed to be mad at me for what I did today.
She's so upset.
She's so
You monster.
I'm allowed to be a bad person.
Got rid of Hoot in his first 5 minutes.
So,
Who is dead?
are we hunting a serial killer?
I think so. Like.